Welcome, everyone. This is How to Vanilla Sky Glass Plate Negative with Ancient Historia. Luke, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm recovering from this awful weekend, but yeah, I'm good.
It couldn't have been that awful.
No, it was good, but it was awful.
I was in the grocery store yesterday, and I was checking out, and there was this really nice kid, and he was running the grocery store and everything, and he looks up at me. He says, "So, who are you going for in the Super Bowl?" And I was like, and I don't watch any of that crap. And I'm like thinking, okay, so how do I respond to this guy? And I'm thinking real hard and look at him, and I'm like, I really just don't watch the Super Bowl. And the guy's like, "Oh, really? Oh man, because this is the first time in history." Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to grab the guy, like by the schmuck and just and smack him awake, because it was like, oh my God, this is so pathetic. And this kid, I mean, he was a high school kid, and he was so into this football. And the only thing I could ask the kid was, "So who's playing the halftime show?" And he goes, "Oh, it's either Beyonce or on Rihanna."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so the kid doesn't even know that. And then he starts talking about football again. I'm like, oh my God. So I figured, I said, "So when is the Super Bowl?" And he said, "It's tomorrow." I'm like, oh. So I'm like, yep, I got to do something to keep these people occupied other than this, bread and circuses they're going to provide. So here we are.
Oh yeah, is it tonight then? Because I have no clue. I'm English.
That's what they say. I had no idea either.
Yeah, I heard a dude mention it because I watch English football, real football, but only Manchester
soccer.
City,
You meant soccer. Yes.
No, I meant football. It's all right there.
Yeah.
It's easy to confuse the two. But officially, your guys' game is called Gridiron, right? So I don't know why you don't call it that. And you carry it all the time. So, you only kick it every once in a while. So it should be once in a football,
Why they call soccer soccer?
Well, exactly. We call it football because we kick it with our foot on the ball all the time.
I like rugby. Rugby's cool.
And if you touch it with your hands, that's illegal. So it's football.
Yeah. I really don't know.
You guys, you carry at the ball, and then every now and then someone goes, "Oh shit, it's football," and they kick it.
So stupid. I hate football. I hate it. I can't stand any sports. I don't like I like skateboarding, stuff like that. But I could watch skateboarding all day long. But I can't stand any of the regular mainstream sports. They're stupid. Absolutely.
Yeah,
stupid.
as I was younger, I used to really struggle to watch it because I have the attention span of a goldfish. But it used to be like a thing that me and my grandpa did when I lived with him for a couple of years, where we'd watch every United game. So after he passed, I've carried on watching them. So
that's cool. I mean, I don't know. It seems like over there in your country, it has more of a camaraderie to it. Over here, it's more like my team. It's like black or white. It's Democrat or Republican. But over there, I don't know. It's like my team, and it's like more of a community feel.
I guess I think we're more spiteful, so we'll support one team, in spite of another. So if it means Arsenal, then we'll support City. So that is kind of the attitude that English football has, which adds a bit of humor to it. Because sometimes if a team fucks up, everyone in the league is laughing like, "Yeah, fuck them."
And soccer football is, to me, more interesting than football. I mean, men slamming into each other and patting each other ass. I don't get it, but
live concussion. But it's the same with rugby over in England. So I've always played.
I like rugby,
but I tore my cruciate ligament when I was younger, so I never got to really play rugby again because it was too much danger for me to redo the injury.
I tore my knee ligament, the ligament in my knee when I was in high school. So yeah.
It's the same one. It's the ACL in my left knee that I tore.
Yeah, I did the right. Yeah.
So football for me is the way to go.
It was very painful the way I remember it. Very, very painful.
But luckily, I was only 11 when it happened, so you get over it when you're that age, don't you?
I was probably in 11th grade. I don't remember how old I was, but maybe 17, 16, 17.
Yeah.
I was dancing with 3 girls at a club at the beach on spring break, and
Oh no.
yeah, it went 90 degrees the wrong way, and
Oh, that's awful.
oh, it hurt. It snapped so hard the ligament just curled back into my knee and destroyed the cartilage.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was bad. So, anyways, it is what it is. But
I actually just had my knee repaired last year. It's been how long? Like 16 years or something, and then I finally got it done.
I had to. I didn't want to, but I was hobbling around so bad. They were like, when I got there, like, how in the hell did you get around for a week before you came here? So then I had to be in a full brace for a year with crutches. That sucked.
Well,
That was real cool.
the British NHS, they don't want to have to pay for anything. So, you know, they'll be there going, it's all right. You can walk that off. And you have to really push it until they finally go, fucking hell, all right, then we'll do the surgery. So over the many years, I was there like going in going, can I get my knee fixed? And they taught me out of it. You know, they'd whisper in your ear, like, just think about all the things that could go wrong. And you'd be like, you're not supposed to be saying this.
That was
like, we could. What if the doctor's drunk and he nips a vein? You know, you'd be fucked.
But now they could fix them. But back then, when I had mine, they were like, we can fix it, but it's like we only recommend it for sports people, like athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't worth. It was very expensive, and it took like 2 years of therapy, and it wasn't worth it. So I never got it fixed. Now every now and then I'll be walking along, my knee will pop out, and everybody thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah, that is what used to happen to me. So that's like, wow, I was like, I'm getting this done. But unfortunately, actually, the NHS got so broken that they sent me private and paid for it. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's cool. Okay, here's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna because the Super Bowl is happening, and I wanted to give you guys something to do other than watch stupid people run into each other and grab each other's ass. I figured we would do kind of look at how a glass plate negative is vanilla skied. And so basically, the first thing we're going to start off with is we're going to talk about what is a glass plate negative, and then we're going to actually vanilla sky an old world photograph and see how that goes. And while I do that, Luke will run his mouth. So let's start off. I've got a little video here that will talk about the process that is gone through to create a glass plate negative. And it's a little 2-minute video. And so pay attention to how this is done, because this is something you really should know doing this research. So enjoy. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. And I've got something I'll share on screen here. Now, this is from the official Wiki Indoctrination page, but it's a place to start. The collodion process is an early photographic process. The collodion process, mostly synonymous with the collodion wet plate process. That's important. Requires a photographic material to be coated, synthesized, exposed, and developed within a span of about 15 minutes, necessitating a portable darkroom for the use in the field. Now, that's also important because the Detroit Photographic Company, who took so many of the glass plate negatives that we look at, they had a train that they ran around with that had a darkroom on it. So that's one reason they could do so many photographs. Collodion is normally used in its wet form, but it can also be used in a dry form at the cost of greatly increased exposure time. The increased exposure time made the dry form unsuitable for usual portraiture work. Most professional photographers of the 19th century, the use of the dry form was therefore mostly confined to landscape photography and other special applications where minutes-long exposure times were tolerable. And that could be possibly what the Detroit Photographic Company used. Gustave Le Gray first theorized, that's Le Gray right there, the collodion process, publishing a method in 1850 that was theoretical at best. But Frederick Scott Archer, that's this dude, was credited with the invention of the process, which he created in 1848 and published in 1851. During the subsequent decades, many photographers and experimenters refined or varied the process. By the end of 1860, it almost entirely replaced the first announced photographic process, the daguerreotype. So these are the guys that are accredited with creating the process of these glass plate negatives. So that being said, what we're going to do is I'm going to bring up a glass plate negative of an image that was captured by the Detroit Photographic Company, and we're going to vanilla sky it. And now I'm going to do it with Microsoft Paint, and I'm going to do it with a mouse, which is a little difficult. I don't have the drawing pen, unfortunately. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it the way I can do it. But they would have used like maybe little knives or maybe a little stick, and they would have scratched off the chemical that was dried on the glass plate in order to create what we call vanilla sky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase where they would have scratched, and that's how the process is going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. And Luke, feel free to wax poetic whatever you want, and I'll be doing that while you run your chops.
Right. You know what? I need to try and get the comments up so I can see what people are saying. That'd be easy.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
I see them on StreamYard, or do I have to go on?
I don't know. Can you see him on StreamYard? I'm not sure.
So I'll try and jump over to the.
I know I can, but I don't know if you can. You might be able to.
Well, I can't at the moment. I can't be bothered trying to figure it out. So I'm just going to go to the stream.
Okay. This is the photograph we're going to be using today. I just picked one at random. Now, let's see. I'll show you. This is the photograph after it would have been. This is when they digitize it, and you can see that it has clouds in the background back here and over here. So this one has not been vanilla skied. And this was what it would look like to us. This is the Marion County Courthouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Detroit Publishing Company right there. So that's what we're going to be working with. Now, I have turned this into a negative just so it has a different look, kind of like more like it would look as they were doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this large. So visually, it's going to look kind of weird to you guys, but that's the way it is. Now, they would have done this with a maybe a little knife, maybe a little piece of stick of wood. I'm not really sure. I have been trying to figure out how they did this, but I've not yet figured it out. But anyways, if you have any ideas on how the tool they actually used to do this, I'd be interested to know that.
Right, I've got the chat up now at least, so that's cool.
Now, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Is one thing I've learned on looking into these vanilla skied images. How are we? Tell you what, I'll. That'll be better. Okay. Way you can see yourself in all your glory.
Really far away from an iPhone, everything's tiny to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm taking out the antenna. I'm putting leaving the antenna in there, but please note that it would be just as easy to remove the antenna as it was to take it and leave it in the picture. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect.
I think that's why on the later ones, like the sepia ones, whatever they're called, you find that they draw them back in sometimes when they've accidentally rubbed them out.
Could be. Because the problem is that the way they did it, once you rubbed it out, it was gone. There was no getting it back. It was once you'd scraped it off, it was gone forever. So I imagine that they did make mistakes. And a lot of times they didn't get but so close, they actually left a kind of a halo around it. So they didn't get that close to them. I'm going to make it a little bigger.
Is anyone else thinking of Beyonce now?
Who is playing the Super Bowl? I never did find out.
Rihanna. That's what I heard from a dude on the stream today. But
Rihanna. Okay, I would think that'd be because Beyonce's done it before, hasn't she?
I have no clue.
Huh.
You're asking the wrong man.
I think that I'm pretty sure she did at one point do it, or she was part of the show or something, because I think I remember seeing her doing, because they do the ritual during the show, the Illuminati ritual. So that's part it. And just so you know, if you don't know, all these Super Bowl shows is a Illuminati ritual.
If I do that ritual before my show, do I get more viewers? Is that how that works?
I don't know. I don't know why they do it. It's
would the algorithm see it and be like, "Oh, he's one of us, boost him"?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know why they go through it. I don't know, like, who is it for? Is a good question.
Beyonce has done it at least once before, so yeah,
okay.
Comment section.
Okay.
Look, we have access to the knowledge now, right? If you guys want to ask any questions or make any outrageous statements, this is the place to do it. I will read them.
So you could now. I don't know how hard this process was in reality when they did it and scraped it with, say, a knife, but it's kind of painful this way.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to get one of those drawing pads and Adobe Photoshop, and you'll be able to.
I know. I was looking at them the other day, and I really couldn't figure out what would be a good one. So, if you have any recommendations on that, I don't need a super duper like crazy one, but I would like to have one for instances like this.
Yeah, I used to work in game design, and at one of the companies I was at, one of my artist friends let me borrow his old pad just to try it, and like for the next 2 months I did no work. I just photoshopped my boss into like World War II photos, and I got really good at it. Like I could Photoshop him into Hitler's car, like sat next to Hitler, and it looked very legit. Yeah, he wasn't happy with that, but the point was I gained a skill.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so now I really want a pad. When I get my new computer, I think I'm going to get a pad.
I would like to know how hard it is. Like, is it something that Like, well, not how hard, but how, like, I was looking at them like on Amazon, like what is a good cheap one? You know, I don't want to
To be
spend.
honest, I think you can literally spend like $40 on one, and that's fine. Like,
Well, that I saw those and I thought they can't, are those any good? Is what I don't know.
I
Maybe they
mean, you
are.
probably want to do like a, ask someone that knows for a, like, probably is the best thing. Like, if you ask
Yeah.
Reddit, I bet someone would tell you in seconds what the best cheap one is. But they are really good. They're really handy. And if you're getting into Photoshop, it's so good because it is like just normal drawing, but
I've always loved art, so I just thought it'd be something fun to experience, to look into and see what I could do with it.
yeah, I mean, I'm just someone that likes Photoshop. But I'm also like a perfectionist, so I'll Photoshop something and then I'll like sit there for hours just doing the shading just to make it look realistic.
So I don't have Photoshop. I guess I'd have to get Photoshop. I don't know.
Well, you can always sail the high seas for that.
Yeah, it's a. I just think it'd be fun to play with. Something
Really,
else to learn.
when you get the power to Photoshop your friends into any scenario you want, that is a power that no one can take from you.
I can do. I've gotten pretty good with paint in creating some funny stuff, but it's not nearly as good. It's hard, is what it is. It's very difficult to actually do it in paint, but that this is paint that I'm using here. But well, shoot. So it's let's see. I don't know how they did this. I would love to know the tool they used. I always think kind of like an X-Acto knife, if you know what that is. Let's see. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Wee. This one was brutal.
Yeah, man, you can do it. I believe in you.
Oh,
We're
this
all...
isn't even the hard part. I haven't even got to the like bad stuff yet.
Oh, you see, in Photoshop, you would be able to like use an actual function to do this, and it'd do it for you.
Well, I'm sure, but with the reason I wanted to do it this way was to show that how they actually just had. See, they didn't have Photoshop, so
How
they
do you
would have chipped it away and scraped it off.
how do you know that the Photoshop wasn't an actual Photoshop? So like a train car behind the one with the dark room on it, where it's just a load of guys sat with blades and glue ready to change these images.
I don't know. I mean, that's possible.
But when you think about the Vanilla Skies,
No.
it is something that's like so extensive. You can imagine the amount of work they had to get every image to do this. Like, not from a conspiratorial point of view.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I would hate the job. It would kill my soul.
It would be awful.
See, I would have been the dude photoshopping Hitler into stuff. That would have been my job.
Not to mention that they're very fragile. They're glass. So
you know what I want to know though is, have you ever seen the picture? I think it's been on Campbell's channel, the one with Hitler and that dude that's been like photoshopped out of the image.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I wonder how the fuck that was done in the 40s.
Well, I mean, I could tell you how I would do it. If you had a picture that was taken at the exact same place without
that guy.
The people in the picture, then you would have the background.
Yeah.
So that might be how they did it.
Or just print two versions of the image and cut it all together. But still, it's quite advanced. But it's exactly like we were talking about. The military, because they're obviously the ones that would have been photoshopping images, they will have had technology 30 years ahead. So even 40s, think about like 70s level computing, they would have probably had that.
You know, Stalin had his pictures altered because he had a pockmarked face, and he didn't want his people to see him with pockmarked face, so he had his images photoshopped.
And what about that one with Abraham Lincoln? You've seen that one, right?
Which one?
It's where they've used someone else's body completely for his presidential portrait.
I think so. It does sound familiar.
Yeah, it's like the one where he's standing. I think he's like either leaning on a table or stood next to a table, or something like that. But it's like the same image as another one, but they've just added his face over the original guy's image.
Huh.
Yeah, and
There's
that was
a famous
presidential
Civil War one. I forget what the general was, but they had him in a picture where it was supposed to look like he was there, but he wasn't. He was on a horse.
Imagine if Abraham Lincoln was actually the size that he is in the memorial, you know?
Oh, yeah.
30 foot tall, and they've had to make him look normal size.
I love how he has fascists on the edge of his armchair in that memorial. Have you ever noticed that?
No, I've never been, so I've not really had a chance to examine it.
Well, just pull up a picture and it's clear. You can see the fascists. It's not with the axe, but it's got the fascist wrap, which is the fascists. It's just there. Sometimes they don't put the axe in there, and all it is the wrapping.
Right.
The bundle of sticks, you know. See, this has got to be better than watching a damn football.
Well, I mean, to be fair, at the end of it, like, we'll have both made as much progress, you know, as the football.
Pretty much. I don't know. I'm so glad that I don't have to subject myself to. I used to go to Super Bowl parties when I was younger, and I just always thought they were stupid then. But it was what you did, you know.
Yeah. See, I'm just too lazy to talk to people, really. So it makes it easy to research.
So you like to read? Is that kind of your thing?
I do like to read, but like I actually struggle to because like I told you, I have the attention span of a fish. So I don't know. I'm always doing like 10 different things. If I actually get myself to sit down, then I can read, you know, quite extensively. But it's actually getting myself to sit down that's the problem.
When you read, do you like reading books from on the computer or phone, or do you like holding a book?
Well, at the moment, I have them all on my iPhone, but I think it's ruining my vision. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like if I want a book, I'll try and find the PDF version, you know, and then just go from there or something.
See, I can't. I have to have a book in my hands. I can't stand reading from a computer. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, I think from my laptop, I would hate it. And I suppose, yeah, from a computer, you sat like that, aren't you? Yeah, that'd be awful. But then again, if I had a dual monitor and I was on a stream, that'd be pretty cool. You know, I could read and stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, just call it the reading stream, and I'll be completely silent the whole thing.
I tried that once. There was a book I wanted to read, and it's a lot harder than it sounds. And I gave up. I actually I put it into one of them programs that reads whatever you put into it, and let it go because I just it's really difficult to read. I don't know.
Oh well, to read and take in is definitely hard. Like you know what I mean? Because you don't have a second to really think about the information that you're saying. You know, you're not going at the same pace as everyone else. So if something's like cool or if something befuddles you, I mean that's what half of my editing is. It's like editing me out, like going, huh, wait, and then just like wait for like 2 minutes.
Jeez.
But
oh, yeah, I need a pen. It'd be easier.
Yeah, you do. So you'd really be able to get this easy.
But it's okay because this is kind of the painful process they would have gone through. It kind of
it will motivate you to buy a drawing. That's what it is.
Reminiscent of that. It is very painful, but It's not helpful on my hands either.
I'll send you the link to the album where I've got all my photoshopped images of people with pizza in their mouths. That was a thing I used to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if in a movie someone had their mouth open, I'd take a screenshot and then Photoshop pizza into their mouth so it looked like the pizza was too hot.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was fun. It's really fun.
So of course we got over here, we got American, hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza and that crap. What is the junk food in England?
Well, what do you mean by junk food? As in like fast food? What?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like not the brand, but like the type.
I don't know. Like, I guess people eat foreign food here more. I'd say like pizza and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like pizza or a kebab or something with fish and chips. That's pretty cool. I like that.
That's something we don't have. Fish and chips.
I actually had fish and chips last night.
Yeah.
It's just literally fried fish with fries, but they're like
Right.
fat, not like chunky, whatever you guys call that. Because I know you call crisps chips, don't you? So it gets confusing.
Oh, you mean like
potato chips or something, whatever it is.
Yeah, potato chips. Yeah.
We call them crisps. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for us, chips just refers to any kind of like chips,
My buddy went to England on a one of these exchange programs school, and the first night he was there, they asked him if he would like they said, "Would you like tea and biscuits?" And he's like, "No, I don't want any biscuits." And he thought they meant biscuits, like, but y'all call cookies biscuits.
What? Oh, right. Yeah. Why? What would you think a biscuit was, man?
A biscuit. A biscuit's a biscuit.
I don't get what you're saying.
Like
words don't make sense to me. I'm British.
Like a sausage biscuit, like a
what?
I mean, it's like a biscuit's a biscuit. I mean, a cookie is a cookie. Y'all call a biscuit a cookie. I'm like,
because this is right. There is a difference between a cookie and a biscuit, right?
There's
a vast difference, Like a biscuit is like a penguin bar or something. I don't know. Whereas as a
it's a biscuit. It's like a flour biscuit, like butter biscuit.
I mean, technically, it could be butter. It could be anything, but it's a biscuit.
I mean, I don't know. It's funny that the language differences just in two English speaking countries and like completely different.
Sherry knows that she's saying it in the comments.
Who?
Sherry.
What'd she say?
Cookie does not equal biscuit.
Right. A biscuit's a biscuit.
Exactly. A biscuit's different than a cookie.
It's crazy.
I think I know what you mean, though. So is biscuit something you have like with dinner?
No, we usually have it with breakfast, but yeah, we could have it with dinner too. It's more common with breakfast though.
Right. Okay. I think I know what you mean now. I think I've seen one of those before and been like, why the fuck have they called that a biscuit? See, I'd be disappointed. I'd be like, why are these people offering me a biscuit with my breakfast?
Yeah. We put everything on a biscuit, like a ham or a bacon or sausage or egg or cheese, or all of it above.
And bacon, ham, and egg, and you went, "Do you want a biscuit with that?" I think you were a nutcase.
Oh no, that's like standard breakfast here.
Because literally, right, there is a thing called a rich tea biscuit, and it's a biscuit. You need to understand.
And we don't drink tea here either. I mean, we drink coffee.
I'd say more people drink coffee over here. Tea was probably like an older people's thing. Although, people still do drink tea. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, we definitely don't do the tea thing. I mean, a lot of older people drink tea. I don't know. It's just not our thing, I guess. Like this right here is really hard to do right here.
Oh yeah, looking at that bit there, that's gonna be. But I mean, this is a high quality photo, don't you think? Like, it's really good.
It's amazing how high quality they got.
What year, buddy?
This would have been early 1900s. I don't know exact year, but definitely early. It's amazing they had this high quality back then. That's
Because
crazy.
like, look at that metal thing to the right of it. Like, who made that and was like, "Hey, boss, I want to put this on top of the building." He's like, "Great idea. That'd look awesome."
Yeah, these finials. I mean, I've got catalogs with these things in them.
Just sat there like twisting metal in every direction. Like, can we stick this on the roof? Why? For Jesus, of course.
Some of them are crazy. Some of these finials are just absolutely crazy. They're whole nother level of design.
You know, it does make me wonder, like the connection between, the Christianity and the religious aspects of a lot of these adornments you find on buildings. It could be like something that they've seen on, like, far back in the past, if there was like an advanced civilization or something. It could be something they've seen on their buildings, so by replicating that, they think they're like praying to their gods, but they don't understand that had a function. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Because people seem to believe that like there's higher beings of like humans beyond the the edge or whatever, or in different lands. So like if they were living among us at one point, we might have seen their buildings with like all this stuff on top, and then like, we'll do that too, but not understood why they're doing it.
Right. I mean, what is that thing? It's crazy looking.
That's what I mean. It's just weird, isn't it? It's like, but if it had some like electrical purpose, you could kind of see it, but
I think they did have. I think they were decorative ether collectors. This is what they used to bring it in. Is what I think. That's what I think.
look at you going all the way around this, all the way.
I mean, I can't imagine. Like a lot of times, I notice that they don't do the insides of these. They'll skip them, and it also makes me wonder if they just started like scratching these off because they were so hard to do. Like, nobody will notice.
It's just really weird that they would scratch it off. Like in this image in particular, because considering all the people are negative anyway, it's like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want everyone to think the world was like negative at one point. Although that'd be pretty creepy. Imagine a negative.
God, that is just detailed as hell.
And
You had no idea how bad this was going to be, did you?
yeah, I was just looking at the timeline. Does he want me to narrate this whole thing? The alpha male's been sat here for 3 hours.
It's crazy.
Slowly making his way through the image.
God.
Zoom out. Let's see how far you got.
I've got to right here.
Yeah.
That's bad. Let's see. Okay, if I go maybe there. No, let me go a little more. And then you can take this and fill it. Fill it in.
Oh,
what in the world was that?
It's people that don't reply until you're in a stream. Fucking there we go. Problem solved.
That's crazy sounding.
Buzz indeed.
God, that's wild. I'm just filling in the areas here that are kind of.
There's different theories, because Could be anything. I mean, I've seen what looks like airships in the background of some of these images where they've tried to edit them. So possibly.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it. I can't say that. Oh, yeah, it's because of airships. I can't say for sure. I don't know. I unless you have the original negative, you don't know. You don't know what was there because they scratched it out. That's the problem. And it's not a matter of like, why did they do it? Like, I don't have the information as to the why, but I do know that they did. And that's a start. It's more than I had before.
Yeah, because I mean, they must have scratched it off and decided, well, yeah, this is something that we're gonna do with every image from now on, which is fucking insane. Because when you think of the thousands and thousands of images with this kind of stuff done to it, well, it's more than thousands, absolutely millions.
No doubt. And then that's kind of
Like, dude, I mean, that looks all right. That looks, you've done a good job there for Vanilla Sky. But I mean, the thing is, it does provide the perfect opportunity to remove things that you don't want in the image altogether. So,
right,
that's the perfect.
Right there. Watch. See that? Boom,
yeah,
gone.
Yeah, if you want that gone, that's gone. That's the main point of this.
Let's see. Now, nope. Which one is the? Oh, damn! I was having trouble figuring out which one was the actual antenna. I couldn't imagine doing this for a living.
But you see, right? What they could also do now is another image, a different one, and put it behind that one, like
right
layers to make a bigger city or a city look bigger, or or a town look different or something. So literally layer this on top of another image so that this now becomes the front of something else.
Correct. And they did do that. I've actually found images where they did do that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's when you're like, oh, okay, that's weird, because why would that's completely faking an area? You know what I mean? That area did exist.
That's crazy. What? I don't know.
Well, think about it. If I went into like my local city, Manchester, took a picture of the library or whatever, and then I went down the road and took a picture of the bank, and then I photoshopped the library behind the bank and post that online, like, oh, Manchester's great, isn't it? That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Because it like people clearly point out, and you think on an image and say, oh, by the way, this, for some reason this person has changed the landscape, but crazy.
Who all's in the chat tonight?
We got Michael Joshua Lewis. We got Q Essence. We got Rick Henry. We got New West Reset. That's all the names I can see.
I wish they'd let you see more. I don't understand why they make it so.
I could scroll, but I'm lazy.
I know, but I wish they'd make that section bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Say hello if you want your name read out.
How you doing, everybody?
Not you, Beagle.
Oh. It's hard to concentrate on your mouth running and me doing my little whatever I'm doing here.
See, you shouldn't have invited me.
Well, I had to give you something to do.
And Becky Dorius is here. And 1982 Mustang.
We're trying to get Luke 10,000 subs so he can show his mama.
We got everyone in. Everyone's almost got a spanner as well. That's cool.
My channel grows so slowly. I just quit worrying about it. I could stand on my head naked and it wouldn't do any good.
Yeah, I suppose finals and that it's slowed down a little bit now. I just had one huge day or a couple of days where I was getting like 500 subscribers a day, which was cool. But
did you look in your analytics to see where it was coming from?
I think I did, but Oh yeah, my phone's there. I was looking her up my phone. Fucking Ed Nankivel. That's a cool name.
Now, let's see.
Who else we got? Did I miss anyone? No. Okay. I think I got. Thank you for saving me having to scroll. Oh, Lisa is here. Lisa Ann Brindley. And she doesn't have a spanner, and she's upset about it.
Lisa who?
Lisa Ann Brindley.
Lisa Ann Brindley.
She's on loads of, including my channel and stuff. She's cool. That's a Cornish name. That's cool.
Oh, she's from your channel. I don't recognize the name.
She watches Paul, Autodidactic, all those.
We got to get Cam to 75,000 too. He's like just hovering right at 75,000. I don't get it.
I lost the chat. I'm back.
I wonder why he's just hovering there.
I don't know. It's probably because I went on his channel drunk the other night and made loads of people unsubscribe.
Jeez. Poor Cam. That was actually a fun stream. We had a good time there.
Yeah, no, I did as well. Like 3.5 hours went by so fast. But again, I was drunk, so.
I mean, when I first came on, it was kind of a train wreck. We had a little trouble getting the boat started, but once I got it started, we were good to go.
Oh yeah.
So
I've been sub to you for ages, so I think you owe an apology right now, Biggs.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
I'm gonna do something here in a second to take care of that. I'm trying to get it to a certain point so we can do something with it here.
Cam here? Is he sniffing around or
who?
Cam. I see someone tagged Autodidactic, so I was wondering if he's here.
He was in here earlier.
Oh, okay.
When we first started, he was in here. I don't know if he might not stuck around. We're not the cool kids today, I guess. Jeez.
But you know what? You've done a good job while I wasn't looking. You really got it through that. That's coming along.
God, that is brutal on your hand.
Oh, that's what he said.
I have to keep like letting my hand rest because it's hard on my hand. God.
Please stop saying things that I can turn into sexual jokes.
Hey, I'm giving you material here. You work with it.
I'm trying to be professional.
Professional, yeah. We're professional. No, we can't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah, well.
Mainstream news does that. No, it's all fun and games, we joke a lot. We try not to take ourselves too damn seriously. If possible. We pick on each other a lot, just out of fun. It's like any shot we can take to pick on each other. I mean, you've learned your lesson on that, haven't you, Luke?
Oh, why?
Just making comments and then oops, because everybody jumps on you.
Well, yeah.
Oh, but it's fun. It's just supporting your fellow colleagues, kind of thing. It's
Q says you could add smoke, a sea monster, or Sasquatch at this point, and I think we should add Sasquatch. I think that is something we should be doing.
Add a Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, and then post online like, guys, just found a Sasquatch.
Gosh, yeah. Give Levy something to look at. Jeez.
Fun story about Sasquatch, right? Is Jesus in some mythology was a wild man, which is a Sasquatch. So I just love the idea that Jesus was a sassy. That's cool. But I mean, what would he sound like? Would he sound Australian or would he sound like Chewbacca?
That's funny.
You know, because he comes into the temple and they're like, "Hey, Jesus, what lessons have you got for us today?" He's like, "Oh," and they're like, "Oh, yeah, brilliant. Go on, Jesus, write that one down.
Oh my God.
Put it in the book. Another great one. Thanks, Jesus."
Okay, let's see where we're at here. Okay, now I'm gonna stop for a second and I'm gonna do something on
and
let's see, I'm gonna go to a website where I change the image and I invert the colors. And we do by inverting the colors. I've got it on negative right now. And okay, let me
give me a second as well. I'm just gonna roll a smoke.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen and oh, wrong one. Okay, there we go. And what we got is I've inverted the colors here. And you can see on the left is the image that we're working on, and on the right is what the image would look like when it's a regular image. And it has a black, they put a black, it's weird. You would think they put white behind it in order to show an image like we're used to, but no, they actually put black behind it. And then they take the photograph, and the photographic paper, the white paper actually turns it, gives it the white background. So let me download that. And then let's see. Let me stop screen. And give me a second. Okay. I'm trying to get the photo back here. Okie dokie, there we go. And all right, this is our image now, and we can see, oh, I missed this little bit here. But that's how it's starting to look in actual. That's actually how it would look to us, except it would have a white background. Now, let me see. I can do something different here. Okay. Let me push edit, and then I'm going to share screen. I'm just playing with it right now, guys and gals. And you can turn that white right there to give us what we associate as the vanilla sky right there. So that's that. Let me see. Stop screen share. And Luke, who was that was wanting Lisa? Give me that name again.
What? Lisa and Brinley? What?
Lisa and that's her screen name, her username?
Yeah.
I'm looking for her. Where's she at?
She's in the chat.
I'm looking for it.
Looking for what?
Her name?
Oh yeah, she's in the live chat. The live chat, yeah.
Oh, there she is. There she goes. Okay. I got her taken care of. So did you see what I did?
Not like you just sent a hiss out for her.
Yeah. Moose and Rocco are coming here. Sorry. Did you see what I did? Where I showed it, where I inverted the colors and then vanilla skied the image, where I changed the background.
Yeah.
So that's would be how it would normally look. Let's see.
I sent you a link to a very important folder.
What you got there?
You should check it out.
Oh yeah, that's your thing. Let me I'll save that for you. Hold on. Bear with us, folks. This is the folder that you made, where you made it.
Yeah, I put pizza in people's mouths. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got it saved. I'll check it out later.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I told you this was going to be painful.
I feel like you could have screen shared at least one of those, but okay.
You want to share? You want to share it?
You should screen share at least Willem Dafoe. I thought that one was really good.
Okay.
Just so people know what hot pizza in the mouth looks like, you know.
Okay. There you go. I got it up. And
What are you doing if you get Photoshop?
There he is.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Who's this?
That's Cristiano Ronaldo. But I've added little captions for people to read if they, if they want to have fun with it. That's a Harry Potter. Oh, that one's a good one. That's from, what is it? Psycho, is it?
Psycho, yeah.
That's one.
That's funny.
That's a Harry Potter. I got to see that because I did a good joke with that. So welcome to Potter Johns.
Oh, that's a Home Alone.
Oh yeah, Home Alone pizza.
That's funny. You did this in Photoshop?
Yeah. Like, the Harry Potter one. This is one of my favorites. And then Voldemort too. If you scroll down, he gets a piece of the action. So this is what you can do, folks, with enough free time on your hands.
Oh, we got to get him something to do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the end. That's the end of the
that's it.
Images, I'm afraid. But yeah, that's a fun hobby for a bit.
Let me I'm gonna throw some wood on the fire.
Ooh, it looks like
talk to somebody.
E. Bernard sneak in.
Oh my, I made it indeed.
Really?
You notice how he jumped in right when I left, right?
Yeah. Of course I did.
I think
the ever-looking wizard. Woo! Sorry, I just saw you guys' messages.
What you up to?
Well, I just finished uploading and doing a bunch more of the short clips. Getting on that. There's a couple of each of you that I did. And then also finished my first live stream where it was also live on Rumble and Odyssey at the same time as Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and my YouTubes. So, getting things done.
That sounds like a busy weekend. Is it the weekend? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a weekend at Bernie's. You're spending yet another weekend at Bernie's. So, it's just part of the thing. And next weekend, we will be relaunching the full Weekend at Bernie's 48-hour podcast live stream. And BEAGS and Luke, both of you, Cam's also going to be upgrading his StreamYard that will be able to put you guys onto it as co-hosts and whatnot so that you can stream from there and be part of the multicast.
Oh, cool. I don't have to come for the entire 48 hours, do I?
God, no. Well, actually, there'll be a private members where
people watch me sleep. I know we talked about
exactly.
And you will be there for 48
hours. Watch us sleep. That's exactly what I was gonna say. And yeah, it's gonna be a wonderful thing.
48
Anywho,
hours.
Just at a friend's house. How long are you guys going for? Are you still gonna be streaming for a bit, or gonna be?
I'm probably gonna head soonish because I'm tired. I want to return into the shell that I was on my bed.
I see that you're at.
He's a wank. He's got to go to bed. No, I'm gonna keep going as long as it takes to get my photo done that I'm making. But yeah, you're welcome to hit the road whenever you feel. Because I don't know how long it's gonna take, but
Okay, well, Beags should be home in like half hour or so. If you're still going, I'll jump back on.
Okay, that's cool.
See you,
All
brother.
right. Much love, Luke. See y'all soon.
Say bye. Say bye.
Frankie, call me if you're
Golly,
free.
man.
Let's go to the Hart Mansion today.
We're doing
Maybe
something
we'll
in
go.
order instead of the football. So
All right. Later, bye.
see ya. Okie dokie. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, yeah. You can head out anytime.
Oh, I'm glad that I'm free to leave.
Yeah, well, normally we would flog you for leaving, but this is too painful to stick around. If
Once there's a laser just on my forehead, let me
I'm,
know.
I'm the kind of person, once I start something, I got to finish it. It's kind of OCD thing. So we'll
That's why I refuse to start things.
no, this will be fun. It's at least people will have something to do besides watch that damn game. Even it might not be the creme de la creme of whatever to do, but at least it's something. So, anyways,
Cold.
I'm gonna go back and start working on the picture, but
Right.
just let me know when you've had enough and you're tired of
That's what he said.
yeah, that your safe word is banana.
Okay, we got a safe stream word, cool.
Oh man. So what are you what's your next thing? Like what are you gonna do to broaden our minds next?
I don't know if you've been listening to anything I've been saying, Bray, but I have no clue.
You have no clue.
Yeah, no, I have a plan, and then I don't know, if I get too hungover, my plan just dissolves and I become a ball for a day or two, and then I get back on track with things.
You're young. It's have fun while you're young, man. It's I had my fun when I was young too, so I get it.
I think as well, right? It sounds a bit nuts, but I feel a bit like trapped because, like, I think I work on the videos all day, and obviously it's in my house just all day. Like, record for a couple hours and go 2 hours, and I want to get out of the house more, but English weather is, it's terrible, so getting out of the house isn't really that much of an option when you're doing video editing. So
Why don't you go do some stuff out and about?
Weather's terrible around here, and it's still still goes dark at 4, 5 in the afternoon. So
yeah.
I think my dream would be if my channel gets to a point where I can afford to move out of the country and just film this stuff from Spain or something. Then yeah, definitely.
That's where you'd want to go, is Spain?
Yeah, because I'm pretty certain that I'm part squirrel. So whenever it's too cold, all I want to do is. But if it's sunny, I'm the opposite. If I wake up and I see the sun shining through the window, all I want to do is go outside and sleep. So at least if I go outside, then I'll be I'll be awake and I'll make videos.
I like cold. I like the cold weather. A lot of people around here, when it gets cold, they don't want to work outside, and I'm like all for it. Let's do it.
Well, I don't know. I'm one of those people that I think needs direct. So I'm basically a plant as well. I'm part squirrel and I'm part plant, and I just need direct sunlight to make me happy.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't know. I hate heat, but we got humidity heat here. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, I hate humidity heat, man. That's what we get in summer because where I am in a a ditch, surrounded by hills, so we get all the clouds moving over and it gets super humid down in there. It's horrible.
I can't take humidity.
That's why I think if you're on a nice coast, my dream would be the Mediterranean, get a boat and just be able to sail between all the different islands in the Med. That would be awesome.
Well, down in the Caribbean, it's hot, but it's not humid.
Oh, and you could pirate
I
down.
can handle that.
You know what? If I got a boat, I think I would actually have to start dressing like a pirate.
A pirate, yeah.
Full on Jack Sparrow.
I actually knew a girl once that she absolutely did not believe in pirates.
What?
Yeah,
What?
no, I'm serious, and like we would argue about it. Like she adamantly did not believe in pirates, and it
He's
would
pointing
annoy the
at
ever living hell out of me.
just a movie.
You try to show her like history and evidence of like pirates, and no, it's not real. There's no pirates.
Fair, Johnny Depp was an actor. There you go. That's all the proof you need.
And I also knew another guy. Now this was really annoying. I was telling him about the lost colony in North Carolina. The story. Do you know about that story?
No.
Okay, well they basically dropped off some colonists in North Carolina and left and came back, and they were gone. They were never found, and they call them the lost colony. And it's like part of our North Carolina history. And this guy I was talking to, he just adamantly would not hear it. He goes, "There is no such thing as the lost colony." And I'm like, no, you don't understand. There is a history of this group called the lost colony. No, not real, not true. That's not true. What are you talking? Like he just would not hear it. It was so annoying.
Yeah, that's cognitive dissonance for you. Like, just people will not accept things that ruins their worldview. You know, so if in their world there's no lost colony, there's no lost colony. You know, you can't bring that evidence to them.
Yeah, but what's the point? Like, why do you have to? How would that ruin your worldview? Is that? I mean,
well, I mean, I do understand it in a way, because I think like as humans, we give ourselves a purpose, and part of your purpose and like your identity is your outlook and your view on the world. So if you change somebody's worldview, if you shatter somebody's worldview, you're in a way shattering their identity. You know, because like who you are is also based upon like your beliefs. You know, so people to be like if you're in a thing like, you know, you go to work, you do this is who you are, this is your job, comes in and tells you like the world isn't what you think it is, and you know it just blows up their whole thing. So it's easier for them to go back to before, you know, kind of like the whole Matrix red pill blue pill thing. You know, do you want to forget and just go back to before, where you could just live your life and not really think about it? And that's what people, yeah.
Well, you know, it's like the same thing with religion. You start talking about religion and people just freak out because they cannot let go of anything they've been taught. It is, you know, it's like they've read it in this book, and that's
well,
all.
that's why it's so important for the system to educate people young, isn't it? Because that's where you build those foundations, you know.
Right.
That's where you build those worldviews and those structures, you know. Even just as a, you know, everything's focused as we are as humans about like work and what you do. You know, like one of the first questions people ask when they meet you is like, "Oh, what do you do?" You know, like, "What's your function?" and I think that,
Right, yeah,
you know, and that also is kind of translates to how much respect should I give you, you know, because if you say something that's not that great, they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, you know, this guy doesn't mean much. He's
like
just..."
when I talk to people, I never tell them that I do YouTube. They don't like, as soon as you start talking, yeah, I make videos on YouTube, they it's like their eyes go blank. They don't know what to do with that.
And as well, I'd say there's two grades of that, because if you're in like, maybe it's different for younger people, because for younger people it's basically like, "Oh, you do YouTube? Are you doing well on YouTube?" Or you know what I mean? So if your channel has only a few thousand subscribers, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, it's just a hobby." Whereas if you had, you know, hundreds of thousands, they'd be like, "Oh, you're really cool. You do YouTube."
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is stupid. Like one of my friends likes to point out that I do YouTube to people, so I hate talking about it, because like for that exact reason, because it's like, oh, I don't really do YouTube yet. Like maybe in 6 months I'll be able to turn around and be like, "Yeah, I do YouTube." But
I've got some friends that like when I see them, they're like, "So are people still supporting you?" Like, yeah. Like it's like they expect you to say, "No, people just gave up and decided that I was an idiot and walked away." I don't know. It's like, damn, can't you have a little faith? Jeez. They don't want you to do well. They don't want you to you know, they don't. Well, they certainly don't want you to be right. They you know, what you're talking about. They certainly don't want that stuff to be true. You know.
No, definitely not.
I don't even talk about it, like, with people around me, because they just go stupid every time I start talking. So I just quit.
Yeah, for real. That's something I learned at a very young age, because I was into this stuff when I was like 14, 15, 16. And that just made me appear like, the weirdo that believed everything was a lie. And, so in a way that taught me to conform a bit. It taught me to, not share my opinions on those things. And in a way, it taught me to kind of not share those opinions with myself, because I'd hear it and I'd be like, oh, don't want to go down that road again. You remember how people reacted last time you started?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that in itself was like, quite a reason to not get back involved in this stuff. But
it's really annoying that we censor ourselves.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I really hate it when you're talking to somebody and you can tell their consciousness just turns off.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah.
It's the
or
worst.
people that are just waiting to talk about themselves. You can.
Oh yeah.
You'll be talking about something and you can just see them just waiting to go, oh yeah, well, you see, I did this thing. You're like, oh, great, okay.
Sometimes while I'll be talking to somebody and I see that they're doing that, I'll actually stop talking for a second and wait for them to start, and then immediately start back just to fuck with them.
Yeah. Right. Anyway.
Moving on.
Yeah.
God.
Great addition. Back to what I was saying.
Right. God, it's like so sad that people they have nothing to say, nothing to talk about, nothing to add. I don't know. Sad.
Yeah.
There's so many people like that. And that's how like when you get with people that are awake, you know that you're with people awake, because immediately the conversation does a whole different thing.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is that I used to kind of I've always liked talking about in-depth stuff. So I used to try and talk to people about, actual science and I was more into astrophysics and stuff, but I talked to people about that stuff, just obviously not astrophysics as in, breaking out the book, as in right. I talked about cool stuff in the universe that I knew about, that was awesome. Towards them about, different things that I knew about the way particles behave and stuff that I thought was really interesting. And even then, people are just like, what the fuck are you on about? Because they don't want to know that stuff, even when it was science. So I would be telling people about it. I'd be telling them about quantum mechanics.
Oh, no, they can't handle that. No.
A particle can behave in two different ways based on whether you're looking at it. It doesn't that make you just go?
You don't find that interesting?
Yeah, people are just like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, the world knows we're looking at it. That's fucked.
Did you ever see What the Bleep Do We Know?
What was that, sorry?
Did you ever see the movie What the Bleep Do We Know?
No, never.
Oh, you would love that. Oh, if you've never seen that, you need to go watch that. You would really. That's what got me involved in quantum mechanics, and that was really pretty eye opening. And that was before I was awake.
Oh yeah.
I would actually show that to my friends, and it would blow their minds. But it was like, well, what do we do with it? I'm like, I don't know what we do with it, but it's freaking amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is what it is. But I mean, for ages, I've always talked about people. Weirdly, when I didn't used to believe in ghosts or even religion and stuff like that. I was very atheist when I was into all this stuff. But when I talked to people that were into ghosts and shit, I tell them about particle physics, thinking that they'd want to hear that because that backs up their worldview a bit. Maybe that's some connection. And again, people are just like, no, I'm not interested.
Right.
So, but having
how do you feel now about ghost and?
Well, I mean, I don't know whether I believe entities would be physical, spiritual beings from this life. If you know what I mean, as in, I don't know if my soul, in it, the way it is now, could leave and then in some way come back to interact. I'm not sure. Do you know what I mean? Could do,
right?
But I don't. But I know that there's definitely like stuff that happens that indicates there's some kind of being there. I don't know like source of that being, whether it's like a living being that's, you know, hiding who it is using technology, or whether it's fucking magic or different dimensions, or, you know. But I know there's freaky stuff going on.
I used to run around with some ghost hunters, and we would go do investigations. This is long before I woke up, and I've actually in eighth grade I saw a full bodied apparition, and so you know, I've seen a lot of things like that. Now I haven't. What's weird is I haven't seen anything or heard anything since I woke up. And I think you see these things when you're on a lower vibration. I think that's part of the requirement.
Possibly. I mean, I've had things happen since I woke up way more than before, because like I never did any kind of like meditation or anything before. And obviously we've talked about DMT. After I did like a few months on that, plus my meditation, I remember, I don't know when it happened, but at some point, I think they call it like your pineal gland opening or whatever, that
Sure. Right.
at some point. And like it became actual visions. Like, you know, if I meditate now, I will see crazy shit. And sometimes I can literally like see things in HD clarity as if I'm looking at a TV. You know, I can see things in that I can't explain it. It's like I'm looking at something from somewhere else. And it happens a lot as I'm falling asleep now. It's almost like something I can't control, where at just before I fall to sleep, I'll realize that I'm looking at something that I'm not actually looking at. And I'll be like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, just suddenly, I remember I was watching a movie a few weeks ago, and I was watching the movie, and then I suddenly realized, well, wait, I'm not watching the movie. I've got my eyes closed. I'm looking this way. How the fuck am I watching the movie?
Wow.
And that, yeah, and there's little things that happen like that, and I think that's why monks meditate for 60 years to get to, you know, visions and stuff, because you have to exercise that gland,
Right.
like, you know, train your mind to go into these different alternate kind of feelings. And I think it comes, you know, it's different for different people, but for me, I definitely feel like I got the speed run because of the drugs, because I've got
Right.
quite an imaginative mind anyway, and very, you know, visual anyway. So I think that combined with DMT was perfect for me to just be like, whoa, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
LSD helped me, but you know, I did LSD long before I woke up. So
Yeah, same. That's, well, weirdly, this is why it's so crazy. Because like my dad would obviously pass, as I told you, and I'd gone like you know, pretty down, and that's when weird shit started to happen. And something inside me told me that I needed to find, like, you know, maybe take hallucinogenics again to see if I could explore it that way. And I was trying to find acid, trying to find mushrooms, and it was like the universe just wouldn't let me, and it was pushing me to DMT. And, you know, and somehow I found that, and I was like, wait, shit, I can make this at home. Okay then. And when it did that, and that's where it went. And it was literally, it felt like the universe was guiding me to this one thing, because that was my key to my awakening.
right, absolutely.
And then I remember the first time that I broke through. So, well, the first few times were actually really normal. Like, you know, I met like spirits, I met Gaia, stuff like that. They were really like what you'd expect from hallucinogenics, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And then at some point it just switched, and it became this whole new level of crazy that's like scary. Like I won't even do it anymore at the moment because it scares the shit out of me. But
Oh yeah.
something definitely changed in my brain.
Well, that would be kind of a what they would refer to as a bad trip. But you know, I think a bad trip can actually be a good thing too, because it's helping you work out things that are, you know, not good. And you need to work those out too. So
yeah. I feel like it's that because of my pineal gland opening, basically the stuff that I'm witnessing is more real and more powerful. So it's like terrifying. So like when I was first doing DMT, it didn't ever feel like I was fully actively conscious during the trips, if you know what I mean. I was experiencing, and when you come back, you have the feeling of like you've just come back from a dream. You can't quite remember everything. You know, you remember bits, and you're like, oh wait, this kind of happened, and then this happened. Whereas now, it feels like I'm fully conscious. I'm awake, and everything's happening around me with my full sane waking mind, and that's what fucks with me, because it's like, whoa, okay, this isn't fun. The world's melting.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's not like this kind of aspect of like, oh, I'm just tripping. It literally is like, holy fuck, the world.
It's kind of invading your reality.
Oh, completely. It destroys reality. Objects start flying around the room and shit. There are fucking beings that I can't even describe that are there looking at me. And I'm like, oh shit, not this again. And then bang, it just goes all batshit insane. And yeah, can't even describe it.
So when I was younger, I would have been interested in doing that. That would have been on my list of to do. But you know, I've put all that stuff away. So I don't, you know, I'm not into that anymore. But there was a time I would have definitely loved to do that.
Yeah, well, that's like, I felt, it's so weird. I felt like I had a purpose. Like it was like it was teaching me something. It was like I was doing it every like few days, really, for about 3 months. Sometimes every day for a few days and stuff. So it was quite intense for 3 months. But I was meditating in between that. I was doing loads of meditation. So, like I say, it was like a speed run of spiritualism or something, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But like, I'm not kidding. Before this, I was, you know, I was kind of verging on, oh, I don't know if there's stuff out there. But as soon as I'd probably broken through, I was like, oh, there's something powerful out there. Like, there is something crazily powerful.
When I first started waking up, the universe started. When I learned how the universe really works, I started manifesting, and I got to where I could manifest very quickly and almost like scary, like how fast. And I will assure you, you can manifest anything you want.
Yeah, like I always struggle with that one. I don't know if it's like the universe choosing different powers for different people, but I struggle with
No, I think it's everybody. I think it's a matter of learning how to use it, how to do it. But it's the universe is capable of making anything happen. And like there's an example. One time I needed a vacuum cleaner belt. My vacuum cleaner belt broke, and I thought to myself, I need to. Made a little note to myself that I need a certain vacuum cleaner belt because they're specific to the vacuum cleaner, and the note was sitting, you know, kind of posted, you know, above my desk, you know, and about 2 weeks later, I went over to get the neighbor, and I needed him to come over and help me something. And I walked over there, and we were walking back, and I looked down on the ground, and I picked up this belt, and the belt was the exact model number that I need. And I live in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around me. And this is the kind of thing that you would have to actually, you know, go to the store to get it. It's not you just people just wouldn't drop these on the ground. It was just so random that it'd be that belt in the middle of nowhere, the exact model that I needed, so soon after I needed it, you know. And
yeah, wow, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
So and that's just one example. But you know, the universe can bring you anything that you want. Now, I will say that it will bring you anything you want and anything you don't want. And so if you focus on what you don't want, it'll bring you that too. So it brings you what you're focusing on. So if you're focusing on things that you don't want, it will manifest that. And then people go, but that's not what I wanted. Well, no, it's what you're thinking about. It's your thought. So you have to be careful what you're thinking about.
Shit, yeah, like discipline your mind. Yeah, maybe that's like that connects a lot with. I really struggle with stuff like that. Like I overthink, you know, and get like quite anxious about certain things. And it's always something I've like thoughts or stuff like that. You need to not do this. You know, anti-manifest it, you know.
Right.
But yeah, have you had any experience with like UFOs or anything?
Yes. In the 90s. Now I can't say I don't like. Now I don't believe it was an alien. What I think I saw was some sort of military technology. But I saw a classic lights in the sky right above my head, very clear. I've never shared what it looked like because I'm hoping that somebody else will have seen it and they will describe it. So, but in Texas, I was driving through Texas and I saw these lights up in the sky, and I pulled over and followed them, and I got right up underneath them. They were right above the clouds, and it was about a disc about 30 feet round, and it was just like a light show in the sky. And there was nobody with me, and I actually never told anybody about it, not until I woke up, because it was like the kind of thing that, who would believe that? And
Yeah.
So I just kept it to myself for a long time. But yeah, I've definitely seen stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I think my first experience with it properly, I can remember anyway, was about 2012, I think. I know I was about 60, and my mum and my sister were in the car with me, and we were driving back from my friend's house, and it was really late at night. It's down the country road, and as we were driving, I look up out the side of the window, and I was like, "What the fuck is that above us?" Because it looked like a giant plane above us. Like I could see that it was lights in like a triangle shape underneath, and it was right above us, but it wasn't moving, and it was no sound. And I was looking like, what the fuck is that? And mum and sister looked up, but obviously mum's driving and Amy couldn't really see it. She was like, oh, it's just a plane, isn't it? And I was like, but planes move.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really get a good view of it because of the car, and really that was all I got, this one really good view that it looked like a triangle. And then it must have been a few months later, I was on some conspiracy website about stuff, and this guy was talking about UFOs because he was this British guy that was trying to keep a record of where people had sighted UFOs, and weirdly he was talking about this black triangle UFO that's been seen all over Britain. So I was like, holy shit, that's the one I've seen. Must be. Well, I don't know if it is. Obviously it could have been a plane, who knows. But at the time I definitely believed that it was that same thing or something similar, and that was what originally started me down that awakening conspiracy path back then. So, and then
I have heard people tell me they've seen the triangles. I've never seen a triangle, but
it was absolutely huge. It was black, and like I say, I only say it looked like a triangle because that was the lights, and that's the shape that I would have thought. There's lights in a triangle shape that was at the front, and but who knows? It could have had a tail that I can't see if it's not had tail lights on it or something. But it definitely looked like a triangle. I believed it was a triangle.
wow.
And then a few weeks ago, because again, what's got me back into this was around the time of when my dad passed. I just started getting back into like the UFO stuff, and I've been trying that meditation, whatever it's called, CT5 or whatever, C5, that's it. Like where you meditate trying to bring stuff down, if you've ever heard of that. But
no, I hadn't heard of that one.
yeah, it's called like CE5 contact meditation, where you basically like meditate trying to actually, manifest almost, but you try and contact a being or something out there and ask it to, appear for you in the sky.
Oh, I have heard of that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like people have gone groups and do it. They say that if there's a few of them, it can work really well. Because which I think is a good point, because I swear in the Bible there's like phrases that say stuff like, if two or more gather, like I'll be there, like meaning that humans kind of need two people to their magic, you know what I mean, or more people to
maybe
focus.
you need the energy of two people to manifest enough energy to manifest that.
Well, to be fair, I actually thought as well, if you were a higher being of species that wanted to like control humans a bit or reduce their ability to like manifest, that'd be a really good way to do it. Right, you see, we've split them, so you actually need these two. The good thing is they're dickheads and they'll never work together.
Yeah. I used to do EVP work, where do you know what that is?
What's that? Sorry,
EVP.
Is that like
it's called electro voice phenomena.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what you mean, right?
So I used to work with that, and I used to do party tricks with it, where I would do it at parties where I would show people how it worked, and it would really freak people out. And I quit messing with that stuff because it just got to be too creepy. Like I would do things like put the recorder, the IC recorder, by my bed at night, and record myself as I'd sleep, and you could tell I was sleeping, and then you would hear voices in the room talking.
Really?
And I'm like, that just really got to me. Like, okay, that's just too creepy.
Well, that's freaky. There was a story that I heard from a dude. I think you'll probably be able to find it on YouTube if you look for this, because it was one of the top searches when I'm looking into what's it called, astral projection. There you go. So this guy learned to astral project because when he'd fall asleep, he'd do that thingy, sleep paralysis thing, and he'd sit there and he'd be stuck in his body. And he said that he'd try and shake to get free of his body. And then he said one day he shaked like hard enough that he just popped out of his body. And he said, and I was like floating above and I could see myself sleeping. And he said, and when I looked to the foot of my bed, there was a thing there. And he's like, I can't describe it. It was like a shadowy thing, like
shadow people.
Yeah. And it was just staring at him. He said, I didn't feel like it was there for a bad purpose in hindsight, but at the time, it obviously terrified me, and it shot me back into my body, and I woke up like screaming. But he said after that happened, every night when he went into sleep paralysis, he was able to astral project, like because he knew what to do. He'd just shake and then pop out of his body. And then he weirdly said that after he did that a few times, that there was like beings that he met while he was actually projecting, and they'd come and like get him, they'd collect him when he was falling asleep to like help him go with them and stuff. And it's so weird. Yeah,
I've heard people tell me they've seen the shadow people. I've never seen them, but a lot of people have seen them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've seen shadow people, but it sometimes see it is like almost like you've seen a mirage or something, like heat, like in the shape of a person. That's probably the most I see. They kind of look like light that's not really there.
The full body apparition I saw was I was in boarding school in the Tennessee mountains, and in 8th grade, and I was walking across the center courtyard, and this facility that the school that I went to was an old Confederate military school before the Civil War. And so there was I was walking across the courtyard one night, and I saw a full-bodied apparition of what looked to be a Confederate officer. And so I walked, it was about 100 feet away, and I walked towards it. And as I walked towards it, it turned and went down some stairs. And so I followed it. And when I got down the stairs, there was a underground tunnel. And if you went straight ahead, it's where we went into a little room and we'd wash our laundry. And I'd been down there before, but there was, to the right was the tunnel, and it went under the main building. And I had never gone that way because it was dark and creepy. But that night I followed that tunnel to see, where this thing went, because I saw it go down into the right. And so I went to the right, followed the tunnel, and it led to a door that went underneath the main building. And the door was locked. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I was kind of going to give up, but then I had this like intuition to check above the door frame, and I reached up on the door frame, and there was a key, which was weird. And so I took the key, and it unlocked the door, and I unlocked the door, and when I opened the door, there was these like emergency lights on in there, just like real dim emergency lights that are always kept on down there. Yeah. And when I opened the door, about halfway down the hall, about 50 feet away, was the figure again.
Bruh.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I ran right towards it, and I got as I'm running towards it, it walked forward to the front of the building down another corridor. And when I turned the corner, there was about 10 feet ahead, there was a glass door, and I ran to the glass door, and the door was locked. There was no way out but that glass door, and the glass door was locked.
That's weird.
And so then later on, I found a picture of a gentleman that worked at the he was one of the teachers at that school, and other people had seen this apparition too, and they called him Colonel Price. And so there was stories of this, and I had never heard the stories prior to that. So that was really weird.
That is freaky. Wow, that is super freaky.
Yeah, I didn't get I wasn't scared. It didn't scare me, but I mean, it was really weird.
For real. Yeah, no, I think if I'd ever saw an apparition like that, I would have definitely been a believer. You know what I mean? But nothing like that ever occurred to me when I was younger, and that it all happened after my awakening, like really shortly after my awakening. There was one day when I was outside in the garden late at night. Now this just freaked me the fuck out, and I was just looking in the bushes because I dropped my ring, and I was thinking it was around here. So I was looking in the bushes, and I'd got down on my knees just thinking it was there, and I heard a noise behind me, and I turned around. So it's pitch black, and there's only the street lamp above just kind of lighting. And I look up, and there is literally like the figure of a child, right?
Oh, wow.
Completely blacked out, right? And I'm a very logical person, and I stared at it. I didn't want to move. I stared, and I was like, right, there's no way that is what I'm thinking it is. And I looked down its body to its feet, and I'm looking at the path. I'm thinking, no, yeah, that's about midway in the path. And I was like, is there a pole in that path that I'm not thinking, that I'm forgetting about? Possibly be what I'm looking at? And I'm like, no, there isn't. And I just stared at this thing like, right, what do I do? So I thought, right, I'm going to get up and just inspect this a bit closer. And as I looked down to put my hand down to get back up, boom, I stood up, nothing there. I looked down, and on the floor is just a black cat just sat there. And I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
What for? And the cat ran off. And I was like, okay, now this is too much.
Jeez. I went to this when I was doing ghost hunting, there was a place that I went to. It was an abandoned a location of an old mental asylum, and it had been torn down. And one night I went there by myself to do a little work in filming and see if I could capture anything. I was bored. I didn't have anybody to go with, and so I went by myself. And I'm out there about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'd been out there a couple hours and was taking film, and I just decided to leave. And I went there. There's stories of children in these hospitals that were really abused, and so there's a lot of stories of children, ghosts and things like that at this location. And so I turned off all the equipment. I was going to smoke a cigarette before I headed out, and I'm in the middle of a field, okay, and there's nothing within 300 feet of me all the way around, because I'm standing in the middle of where the building was originally. And I hear this little girl say, like she was standing right beside me, please help me. I was like, please help me. And I'm like, dude, I freaked, absolutely pissed myself, and ran to the car, jumped in, and took off, and called a friend as I'm driving down the road. And I'm freaking out. And he's like, what the hell's wrong with you? You know, like, what are you talking about? You sound like a crazy person. I'm like, I'm telling you. And like, I was really, really freaked out. So that was the only time I actually had a voice.
Yeah, no, that's too much for me. Because I don't think trying to think if I've ever heard anything like that I would say was someone's voice, and I don't think I have.
That was that. Well, now I heard a lot of voices doing the EVP, but the EVP is different. I don't know, and there's something about like dead children that is freaky too. I don't know. That whole thing just really was unsettling.
Oh, speaking of children, actually, I had this really freaky dream the other day that just it only bothers me because of like one detail. But I was in this like lab type place, and there was like a child in front of me, and I thought it was like my child, and it was crying, so I picked it up, and like it starts laughing, and I looked down at it, and I realized that on its hands, it's got like these weird blue tentacles. So like if you imagine a human hand, but it's got like all these light blue small tentacles coming off it, like it's almost like maybe half the size of fingers. Like so it's loads of these blue tentacles. And I look, and this kid, like, even though it's a baby, it's quite big, but it looks just like me, like little baby me, but with these weird tentacles. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And I was looking at it, and I looked at this kid, and it was staring right at me. And I was like, do you know who I am? And he nodded and was like, you were the first. And I was like, first what? And then he just wouldn't tell me. I was like, bro, the first what? And then I was looking at these little weird fucking tentacles, and I woke up like, I hope I'm not an octopus, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be a really bad way to find out that you're, you know, half octopus. Like, I mean, I know my dad was adopted, but I didn't think he was adopted from, you know, SeaWorld.
Oh my god. Do y'all have SeaWorld over there?
No, we don't. But you know, but the freaky bit about it is though, I don't get how my brain knew what these weird tentacles look like. Because you're supposed to, you know what I mean? You're supposed to use your shit you've seen, aren't you, really? I mean, I know you could probably create new stuff, but this was so real as if like I'd seen it before. And then I was thinking, like, shit, have I met any tentacle people that I'm thinking about?
Oh my god! I actually did a show. I used to be a I used to do audio video production work, and I got hired one time to do a convention at at the Orlando Convention Center, and part of that was they wanted to do a special thing at SeaWorld for I forgot what business it was, what corporation it was for, but they were doing this. They wanted to do like a meeting that was at SeaWorld, and they wanted to have it on in the Shamu Stadium. And so I had to spend a week at the Shamu Stadium setting up a sound system above the Shamu tank, and we had to carry the speakers across the tank, the top of the tank, in the back, and we had to be very careful because they were like, if you fall in there, he will eat you. And then we had to like steadily every day go in and turn the volume up a little more and let Shamu get acquainted with the sound system in order to do a 1 hour show. So we spent a week getting ready to do a 1 hour speech.
Is Shemu the one that murdered a load of people?
Yeah. And then a couple years, or it was 4 or 5 years after that, that same whale killed the trainer.
Wow.
So that was kind of creepy.
Yeah, that is freaky.
But they weren't joking. I mean, they were like, you know, if you fall in, you know, we can't help you. So don't fall in. That was what they told us. Don't fall in. And so they were with us the whole time. But man, it was scary because we had to, in the back of the tank. Well, there's two tanks. There's the show tank, and then there's the holding tank. And the holding tank and the show tank are separated, and there's a walkway, and we had to walk over that walkway, and we're carrying these speakers, like these heavy speakers. So me and this other guy were just like walking across, carrying these damn speakers, trying to get, you know, across the tank. It was scary.
For real. All I can think of when you talk about that story is like Jurassic Park, and how when I'm watching Jurassic Park, I'm thinking, there's no way people would really have these dangerous creatures in cages to watch. And then you go, oh, wait, no, capitalism.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, thinking about it, like, no, go and feed the raptors, Jim. Come on.
I don't, humanity's just stupid. I don't know. Why would we keep everything in cages? I don't know.
I know, right? Just make it jump in circles. Like, yeah, we just got this absolutely monster killing machine. We're gonna make it do a few flicks. Think it'll be angry at us?
Right. So stupid.
Like literally, we would catch Lucifer and put him in a zoo, wouldn't we? And here he is, everyone, the Lord of Darkness.
Yeah.
He's gonna jump through this ring of fire. Oh look, he's pissed. He's grabbing me by the neck, throttling me to death.
It reminds me of King Kong, you know. I mean, that
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
absolutely we would do that.
You know,
There's something wrong with our humanity. There really is.
Wonder with King Kong, like, because there's so much giant stuff. Whether, like, well, actually, talk to Mike, he'll tell you that would have been real, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Because he, you know, with these titans, he thinks that there would have been a giant gorilla to go with the giant elephants. So there you go, folks.
Oh, I think it's possible. Yeah.
Could be true.
Yeah, it's not something I focused on, but yeah, I think that stuff's possible.
For real. That'd be so freaking cool.
I think some of the, you know, some of these things are tree stumps, these old ancient tree stumps, these big, large, you know, the areas that were people think are the ancient trees.
Oh, yeah.
Large trees. I think some of them are tree stumps, but not all, but
they know the trees would have been bigger even with like the normal scientific thing, because they say CO2 levels and all that were so much higher back in the past and all that shit. So even conventional science says big stuff, but it shouldn't have any fossilized remnants, really, should it?
My question, one thing, when I started seeing that for the first time, I started wondering, I cut down a lot of trees because I have a wood stove. My question to myself was, okay, there are giant trees, but how in the world do you cut them down?
Yeah, for real.
And that's something I haven't been able to figure out. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but if you look at these things, they do look like tree stumps, but then they also look like, if they are tree stumps, that they would have to have been cut down with some sort of saw. Okay, well, what kind of saw? Like, how big was the saw?
The thing is, though, is I've been thinking about this so much recently. Is how big are we? Are we just like this tiny version of the original humans, like this cute version? And the original humans might have been like actual titans, and we don't even know that we're the fucking borrowers compared to them.
Oh, sure. I think that's very possible. I think that but I think we were genetically modified. I think that, you know, there's I don't think it was done by breeding. Like the stories go that the giants bred with the people our size. I'm sorry, a giant, you know, dingleberry ain't going to go in a. You know what I'm saying? It that don't fit. So you know,
I always work that one more towards the like the angels just being a bit bigger than us. You know, not.
Now that I could go with. I could definitely go with that.
The fact that if they had conventional sex with humans, then they must have had like similar DNA. So that would suggest that they were humanoid enough to, you know, to mate with us, which would be a lot more questions of its own, wouldn't it?
Right.
Because what if angels are just humans that you know used to be in our position? What if the good humans from the old simulation or whatever are now working for God, or so to speak? Or you can piece it with whatever way you want to look at it. Maybe they're the Anunnaki, you know. Maybe Earth actually happened in the, you know, in Andromeda galaxy or some shit.
Have you read the Zechariah Ascension stories?
I've not read them, but I know about his Anunnaki theories.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the theory there is that we were genetically modified. So, you know, if that's true, then there's your story.
I like those stories because I don't. This is my personal bias, but I don't like the idea that we're just a small little, you know, ant farm being watched over by, you know, titanic beings or whatever, and that's all that we are. You know, the idea that there's nothing else out there. I prefer that Star Wars could happen or something. That to me would be way more fun, and it's, you know, the idea that you could get off Earth and there'd just be a universe to have fun in. Whereas the alternative, where if you get up there and find out it's actually in carpet or something, and you're like,
Well, I
oh,
do believe in interdimensional beings are possible. I don't believe in like, the space that we've been told, like Star Wars space, like
yeah.
we go up off of, out, in the outer atmosphere, and there's this space. But I do believe that there's a possibility that there are maybe there is a space, it's just in another dimension.
I mean, I kind of could get behind the idea that space is a type of fluid that we're just not aware of on Earth, a type of water that's like different, or behaves slightly different to normal water. And that's
Could
what,
be.
I mean, the one thing that made me think about that when I heard that being said was when the astronaut was on, supposedly on the ISS, and his helmet started leaking, and they were like, "Oh no, the coolant's leaking, everyone! The coolant's died." And I was at the time, I was like, "Oh fuck, coolant." But now, when someone said that story, said that, oh, it could be water, and it was to do with like us being in like a light matrix with water and stuff. I suddenly thought, like, oh shit! Imagine if his helmet cracked, and that was like the space water getting into his helmet. Like, fuck.
It's like we were talking about the flat Earth the other day, and you're not exactly on board or not on board with that. And my point with that was that I wasn't trying to bash you about it. My point is that I think you should look into it and do some thinking on it, because it's an area that I think would help grow your research just by having done some looking into it.
I mean, I've done bits of looking into it. It's just, I don't know. Like I say, it's something as well that I don't know if I want to take my channel down that road, because I know that there's a lot of people that watch my stuff that just there.
You don't have to take your channel down that road, but I'm just talking about on a personal level in your
Well, I don't know.
research.
Like, yeah, maybe, but it might be one of those where I think I'd have to be shown that it was flat, and then I'd be like, all right, fair enough, I'm on board. If someone actually showed me, they go, oh, okay, fair enough. Because if it was like Asgard in Marvel, that thing's not a round planet, I think that'd be cool. I'm on board with that, but I've just got to see it, and then I'll believe it. But I mean, to be fair, there's people in the flat Earth community that say the same about the round Earth. They say, no, I'm not believing it's round till I see it. So I'm just going to be stubborn on that one. Like I say, I want Star Wars to be real out there somewhere. That's what I want. I want there to be awesome stuff out there in the universe. So that's my personal bias. I'm going for that.
When I first woke up to this stuff, I was just getting on board with the ancient alien stuff. And I started, telling some of my friends about the, some of the theories I was looking into. And one of them was the ancient aliens theory. And one of my friends, he made the comment that, he said, my children like Star Wars, but you think it's real. And I'm like, well, no, not exactly. But I said, you do know that George Lucas wrote Star Wars as his way of explaining what's going on in our world.
Well, exactly. Yeah. All the names even match when you think Anakin is just Anakim, which is, the like Anunnaki. That's the name for the Nephilim, is the Anakim.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah. So Anakin Skywalker was literally like basically saying he's an angel. He's one of the Anakim. And the Vedas as well. Like you've got the Hindu Vedas and stuff like that for Darth Vader. There's loads of yeah. I mean, there's one in the ancient aliens community that they do their videos. The ones that believe in like secret space programs and that. So completely the opposite. Not just that space is real, but we've actually been fucking super far through it, and they're hiding that from us and shit.
When I say Star Wars, what movie is the one you say is Star Wars? Like, what's Star Wars for you? What number?
Yeah. Star Wars for me is the shitty prequels, because that's when I was a kid. So they're my films. But I mean, obviously, I love the.
So 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. I hate the new ones.
Right. Okay. That was a test you passed.
Yeah, the prequels are my boys. because I know they're shit, but I just love them. You know what I mean? The nostalgia just makes
Yeah,
them.
but you know, I saw Star Wars, the original Star Wars, in the theater 26 times when I was a
Oh, the
kid.
Star Wars are really good though. That's
And when they came out with that, man, it was not shit. It was like, whoa.
no, yeah. Well, I mean, they're like proper good movies now, but the prequels were the ones that I was the kid. Those in the what are now 1, 2, 3 in the timeline, as in the Bygone Gin and that. That's like the original ones I saw. Like when I was a kid, I remember everyone going on about the pod racing scene as being like the best CGI they'd ever seen. And you go and watch it now, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know. They were pretty disappointing when I saw them. I don't know. They were cool CGI, but it just didn't have the heart that the original did. I don't know.
But yeah, we should move on from Star Wars.
That's true.
But because it would be pretty cool though. Because I used to say this to people with the ancient alien stuff. If you do believe in like the way the universe is supposed to, like supposedly said, the mainstream narrative, which is why I was always on the side of aliens, is like, if the universe really was the way you say it is, as in like it's just complete chance that we've happened, then we will be fucking everywhere. There'll be humans and life forms everywhere. They'll be really smart. Loads of them will have spaceships. Loads of them will be, have their own planets and be making their own stories and stuff like that. So I think if you do believe the mainstream narrative of science, then you kind of have to believe that crazy aliens and shit are probably out there doing Star Wars right now. Because it's just,
Have you ever looked into Billy Myers?
Who's he again? I know the name.
The one-armed farmer in Switzerland.
No.
That's interesting UFO research. That's old school stuff. That's well before our time.
The UFO stuff again is cool because it suggests like other planets, other life civilizations. That to me is so interesting. The idea that there's more out there to see.
What do you think about crop circles?
Well, I mean, it could be anything, couldn't it? It could be government psyop, could be genuine alien spacecraft using sound waves to create them. I think that the way they're made definitely isn't what they say. So if you look at the English ones, they'll tell you that a couple of guys went around at night.
Oh no, those jackasses, no.
Yeah, oh, just track that thing along. Don't worry, this will look mint in the morning.
Yeah, that's crap.
Yeah, they were prolific. They'd go all over the country. They go, where are we hitting tonight, sir?
Yeah.
We're gonna go to Bedfordshire and draw the most advanced circle you've ever seen into somebody's field. It's nonsense.
Yeah, they were really trying to hoax it there, but I mean, they can't create the sacred geometry that is seen in the good ones. I mean,
no, exactly. Some of the ones I've seen are just absolutely amazing, but it makes me wonder, because if you have the technology to create sound patterns like that, then you definitely have the technology to create deep penetrating sound waves that could change the shape of the land. Which, well, it does actually beg the question why we haven't seen that then. Why instead of crop circles, why aren't we seeing like star forts being erected by UFOs randomly, or mounds of Earth in climatic patterns?
Yeah, man, Star Force, they're so weird.
Well, I mean, imagine if it turns out Star Forts are getting made, like, and we just don't know. Aliens are turning up and making Star Forts, and the military are going and blowing them up or something. But
whew. Where am I here? Oh, that might be pretty far.
Oh, this guy said, "Why?" Oh,
Why,
Sam.
What do you say?
One of the people in the chat. Why are you talking to this guy, Sam? That is not the friends, buddy.
Why are we talking to this guy?
I know, right?
I don't know.
Why
Why are you watching? I mean, I get some of the dumbest questions.
I know, right?
I don't know if you've gotten to that point yet, but at some point you'll get some real winners.
Yeah, no, I really hate it when people comment on stuff telling me why they've decided to unsubscribe as if I give a shit. Like, I decided to unsubscribe because of one specific thing you said in this video.
Right.
Like, okay, thanks for letting me know.
My favorite's when they say, I don't like the song that you played. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, right. Oh, don't worry. I'll go re-edit it for you.
Yeah, let me take care of that. I am so sorry. I will go flog myself, and everything will be right with the universe. Like, why would I care? Like, why? I don't know. It's like walking up to somebody and saying, "I don't like the color of your shirt that you're wearing today. You're, wearing the wrong color, and I don't like it or appreciate it. So go take it off and try again." I mean, what do you think? Why would you tell somebody that? Like,
Yeah, no, stupid. I think people just have too much time, though, don't they? You know, if you can sit there like writing a comment like that, you've got too much time. Go use it productively. I mean, and that's coming from someone that edits pizza into people's mouths.
yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why people feel that they're I don't. It's art. Like when I play a song, I play it. There's an artistic form that's happening there, and why would you criticize someone's art? I mean,
Right.
it's like, why do you? Okay, I get it that you don't like the art. Fine, that's fine. But what makes you think I'm going to give a damn if you don't like it? You know, I created it because I wanted to, because I liked it, because it's putting out the feeling I want to put out. So what makes you think that I care what you think? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know.
People don't realize, I think, especially in communities like this, flat earth communities, they'll say things like how indoctrinated people are and they won't accept other people's ideas. But then you'll have someone like me say, "Oh, I think something different," and they'll be like, "Shut up, you're wrong." And it's like, you're doing exactly the thing that you hate, right? You're doing the exact same
Right.
thing you despise other people doing, and you're doing it to me. Like, if I believe it. You can fuck off.
And that's the problem I was having over the last year, was where I was trying to point out some of the flaws in the research that some of these people were doing, and they were getting really pissed off. They don't want to be shown their flaws. They don't want to be shown, even when you have the literal evidence to prove that they're wrong, they don't want to hear it. And they get really defensive and pissed off, and then they start attacking. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, can't we even have a conversation where I show you're saying one thing and I show you evidence to the contrary? And then, okay, maybe you still have your head up your ass, but why can't we just have a conversation about that?
Well, that's the point. It's about conversing with ideas, because like with Bernie brings in the trash can. Like, you don't know 100%. Nobody actually knows 100%, and that is the point of awakening, is understanding I know nothing, and we all know nothing, and we're going to try and find out as much as we can. But becoming open-minded by closing your mind in a different way is not becoming open-minded.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're just becoming closed-minded about a different opinion.
I don't know. I thought that the sheeple were okay. Before I came and started working on the internet again, I thought that the sheeple were the worst to deal with. But now it's not the sheeple that are the hardest to deal with, it's the people that are awake.
Oh, it's the people that think they know everything already, and they come in, let me tell you the secrets to the universe, child. And you're just like, oh.
It's frustrating, because I would expect, or I do expect, the awakened people to have the ability to know that the more they know, the more they don't know.
Exactly, yeah, the humility. And well, again, yeah, I guess being awake doesn't exactly give you social skills, does it? Like some people are so rude, they don't want to hear other ideas. You know, whatever.
What was the first thing that your first conspiracy, let's or whatever? Like, what was the first thing that got your juices flowing?
I think it probably would have been like World War II. Like, yeah, I think World War II, because I remember seeing this guy called David Irving, who's known as like, a Holocaust denier. But he was talking about how, things like the bombing of Dresden had been, because he was the guy that originally uncovered the bombing of Dresden. So before, nobody knew that, in the middle of the night, we sent 100,000 bombers or whatever it was to go and flatten an entire city full of, civilians and stuff. Nobody knew that until this guy uncovered it. So he became a very famous historian, like mainstream. Everyone loved him, and they asked him because he became a bestseller like overnight because of this book. Because he got all this information from Dresden and everything. So everyone said, "Can you do a book about Hitler? Because you seem to be amazing at that." So he said, "Yeah, I'll go do Hitler." And he got in contact with all, his staff and all the people that had been working among him. He even found his doctor's diary, stuff like that. And he did this whole book on it. And he took it back to his editor. And the guy was like, "Why have you left out the Holocaust?" And he was like, "Well, the problem is there just wasn't enough. There was like no information for me to work with about the Holocaust from Hitler's point of view. this is from Hitler's start, like documents, and there are no documents about it. Like they're all second-hand documents or by other people. They're not Hitler's documents." So this guy was like, "Well, you can't just leave out the Holocaust." And he was like, "Well, I'm gonna, because there's nothing about it."
Well, I'm gonna.
Yeah. The end of your career, that you'll never sell any books again if you do this. You need to just make it up, just make it up. And he was like, "I'm not doing that." Like, and he was right. As soon as he released the book, he went from being a best-selling historian to a crackpot Holocaust denier. And yeah, that's just the way it went. And it just shows how somebody, and I think that the reason that he did so well is because he uncovered the bombing of Dresden, but he uncovered it from a point of view of mainstream. So if he'd uncovered the bombing of Dresden and been like, this looks like, or like the same damage as Hiroshima or Nagasaki, maybe they've nuked it or something, be thrown straight away to the wolves and be a nutcase. But because he's gone, "Oh, it's just a normal bombing raid they've tried to hide," that sounds very legitimate. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So they support that because that sounds normal, doesn't it? "Oh, we hid a bombing raid because we're bastards," instead of like why we did the bombing raid, which is probably the more important thing. Why did Dresden get bombed, leveled, and nobody knew about it? What was the, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, because there's definitely a bigger, deeper secret as to why it wasn't brought out, particularly from like the German side and stuff. Like they knew about it, but none of the West knew about it, and that just that got him going down. And he found out about Churchill, who was financing Churchill, all these American people that were financing Churchill to basically ignore Hitler because Hitler wanted to have peace with Britain. And Churchill told all the British MPs and stuff that they weren't allowed to talk to Hitler, like to Germans, because the Germans were trying to get in touch with them to have peace. They were saying, "We don't want to have a war." And it literally, like, Britain was actually, we were bombing each other's ports at this point, but we weren't bombing civilian targets. This was just before like the proper Battle of Britain. And this one bomber came in, dropped a bomb in London, and Churchill decided to send an entire bombing raid to Berlin and drop it like on civilians and stuff. So he kept sending waves of these bombers to Berlin attacking civilians. And Hitler gave very famous speech where he stood up and said, like, "Right, if one more bomb lands in Berlin, I will kick off with Britain." So guess what? Churchill hears that, and he sends another wave of bombers that next day. And
wow,
yeah, because he was, telling the MPs, "Don't do anything the Germans say. You're not allowed to talk to them. Even if they say they want peace, you can't speak to them." And he was antagonizing them by sending bombers after bombers after bombers. And then finally, he got what he wanted, which was the Germans retaliated and started bombing the East London of like actual civilians. And that's what kicked off the killing of all the civilians. So that for me was my first big conspiracy, because I started being like, "Whoa, World War II is like completely different." But
how did you stumble upon that? Like,
you know what? tell you. I really have no clue how I came up with that. I was a weird 15-year-old.
So just out of nowhere.
Yeah, I honestly, I was just into stuff like that, you know, mysteries and shit. And then that just led me towards other things. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Judy Wood, the person that does.
Oh yes, oh I love her. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I got into like her around about the same time after, and started, you know, not believing that. But then obviously you go to your parents, age 16, like, yeah, so 9/11 isn't real and the Holocaust probably didn't happen, and they're looking at you like, what have we really?
What? Oh no.
But
Yeah, that people really don't, they get real. Okay, I was having a conversation with a guy, just a guy that I know. He was, I brought up 9/11 just out of kind of tongue in cheek, and then he's like, he knew that that I study this sort of stuff, but he's not awake, but he's kind of starting. He's like in that phase where he's hitting the alarm clock.
yeah,
And he's learning things here and there. And so whenever I bring something like that up, he asks, you know, what do you know? You know, tell me your version. And he's like, you know, I said something about 9/11. He said, okay, well, what do you think about 9/11? And I told him a few things. And in the process, he's like, you know, I mentioned to him that controlled the corporation Controlled Demolition Inc. probably were the ones that had something to do with the controlled demolition of the towers. And he got almost like his color changed. And this guy, he's a very he owns a large demolition company.
yeah,
Just to give you some background, so he knows what he's talking about. And he goes, well, I know the owner, the guy that started that company. He's on my speed dial, and he showed me the guy's name and phone number on his speed dial. And he goes, I can guarantee you he had nothing to do with this.
yeah.
And I said, well, I think you might want to do a little research into that. He goes, no, I'm going to call and talk to him about it. I'm like, you know what? I would definitely not call and talk to him about this. And he looked at me very strange. And I said, I'm serious. I would not make that phone call, because if it is true what I'm saying, that he has a part of this, they're going to be watching him like a hawk, and you don't want to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if he ever talked to him or not, but it was really weird, because this guy was like, no freaking way. I know the guy, you know, and I'm like thinking, you know what? I don't know if you know this, but there's an entire community of people that think that he did, you know? So it was really interesting. But, oh, and then I sent him a video of a guy who was he was an engineer for Controlled Demolition. And I said, you know, here is this guy's opinion, and I'll take a look, see what you think. And in this video, the guy is going and he talks about how, in his professional opinion as an engineer for Controlled Demolition, he believes that the towers were brought down in a controlled demolition. Now, he wasn't saying that the Controlled Demolition Inc. were responsible, but he was saying, in his professional opinion as an engineer for Controlled Demolition Inc., that they were brought down in a controlled demolition. And you know what his response to that was?
What?
I can't believe they hadn't sued him for defamation. I'm like, no, why? He's not being defamatory. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying, in his opinion, it was controlled demolition, not that they were responsible.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was his reaction to that was very interesting. Like he completely ignored what was said. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen about the cars on that though? You know, in the 9/11.
Yes, the melted cars.
Yeah, what do you think to that?
That's the scalar technology. That's the same thing that they use for the do attacks. What they did was on
that like a powder residue from the event that's like done that to the cars, that's like floated with the wind, because it was in the direction of the wind.
No, it's a heat. It's created by the scalar technology, the DO weapons, the directed energy weapons.
Right.
And what they did was it was a combination of things, and they came in. The first thing they did was they blew right before the quote unquote planes hit the building. I'll leave that in the air quotes. But right before the first planes hit the building, the first plane hit the first building. They blew some of the columns in the basement, and then they did whatever they did with the planes, whether you believe in the planes or no planes. And then they did the same. They did the same in the second building, and then they had the second plane supposedly hit the second building. Then what they did was they had more. There was a hurricane. I don't know if you know this. There was a hurricane over New York on that day.
Yeah.
And so, or the remnants of the hurricane. And what they did, that hurricane was used as part of the. It was involved in it, is best I can explain it, in the scalar technology. And what they did was they then blew more of the basement, and then they used the scalar technology to heat the building up to a point that the metal and the elements in the building, the concrete and everything, could be dustified and melted. And then they used the scalar technology to push the building down as they exploded the building from the top. And they literally pushed the building down with this heat wave that, as the building's coming down, and what they say was pancaking, it wasn't, it was dissolving, it was disintegrating into dust. And they pushed that building all the way to the ground. As they're exploding, you see the squibs of energy, the bombs going off as it's going down. And so they exploded the building and pushed it down with the DO weapon as the building's going down. Now, that the cars that you were referring to are an effect of the heat wave and the energy that was being used at that time. And also, there are accounts of people like talking on the phone, and they're talking about how they're burning up. And that's why you have people jumping out the windows, because they were getting so hot. It wasn't flames or heat from fires, because they were so high up. And the heat was not hitting them from the fires. It was the heat of the DO weapons.
Right.
A little something.
Yeah, so the only thing that I noticed about the cars is that it didn't seem, well, Judy Wood said that it didn't seem to affect any of the plastic. It was like only specifically the metal on the cars that was getting burnt, whereas the handles, the door handles, were seemingly unaffected, like by this fire, whilst the metal around it shriveled.
Right, and the best I could tell you is it has something to do with the DO weapons. That it affects certain elements and not others. It's very strange stuff. It's the same. It's the Tesla death ray, is what it is. That's exactly what they're using, is what is referred to as the Tesla death ray. And they used it on in like California fires. They use the same technology. They use the same technology. They actually have it on the U.S. military. I know has it where they have it on tanks and planes and ships. And they actually have mounted DO weapons now that you can see. That it's not hypothetical anymore. It's not theoretical. It's an actual weapon, and they'll tell you about it. It's not even hidden anymore. They'll actually show it to you now. It's a real thing. It's not a theory. It's not a conspiracy theory that directed energy weapons exist. I mean, they'll tell you they do now. They'll say, "Oh yeah, we have directed energy weapons on our ships now. Look here, we can use them and blow this up. See?" And you can see video of it. So it's a real thing. But this is all, I'm talking about stuff that happened way before they announced it.
Well, like you say, if you were to believe military technology is 30 years ahead, well, just think of the technology that you have now. Like, how advanced do you think it is compared to 2001? Well, they would have been using technology at least 10 years ahead of now. back in 2001. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So think of your iPhone from 2031. What that's going to be like. Well, that is the level of technology that the military supposedly have access to 30 years before. So that's the kind of stuff they would have had. That's crazy when you think about it, isn't it?
You know, one thing that I love, see, I know so much about 9/11 that I can really fuck with people. So it's kind of a game. But I'll say, do you know who was in control of security at the World Trade Center up until the day of 9/11?
I don't know, but they probably got fired, right?
Marvin Bush, George Bush's brother.
No. Wow. Fuck that. It's like they're not even trying.
No. Now, a lot of people don't know this also. They'll say, well, how did they get the bombs into the building? Now, I believe that they spent a long time preparing for this event, but they did some things at the last minute. And then they said, people will say, well, okay, well, when could they have possibly done this at the last minute? And I will point out that the last minute, meaning that on the Friday before 9/11 until I believe it was Sunday night, they shut down they kicked everybody out of the building, all the security people, all the employees. They turned off the power, they turned off the security systems, they took out the bomb sniffing dogs, they turned off the cameras. All the technology was shut off for the whole weekend prior to the attacks on 9/11. So they had plenty of time to finalize the preparations for the event. A lot of people don't know that.
It's quite weird, isn't it? I mean, I think 9/11 is one of those things. I always believed it was an inside job, but until things like Judy, I didn't realize how much, of an inside job it really is.
It's a very complicated thing, and I think that this is just my thoughts. Is I think that they really were going to do a fourth attack, and I think something went wrong. And I think they were going to hit the White House, and they didn't. I think that they had to come up with the Flight 93 crash site because something went wrong. I don't know what, but I think something went wrong during this event, and they had to switch.
I never got that. The story of how the brave ones, they made the movie. The brave people fought back against them and crashed in the field, and it's just like, I don't know. It never sat.
Such horseshit. They say that they were talking on cell phones on from Flight 93 and talking about let's roll, right? And then, if you remember, cell phones didn't work on planes back then.
I mean, fucking hell, they still barely do if you come to England.
So, I mean, the whole narrative right there is blown out of the water. Oh, and they used to say, "Oh, if you use a cell phone on a plane, it'll bring the plane down." Like they would say that the technology would hurt the plane if you used it, and they would say that you couldn't use it because we don't have the technology for you to use your cell phone on the plane. Yet they worked perfectly on 9/11. People just don't put two and two together.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Well, like you say though, if they had technology from today, it makes sense why their phones would be working. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and if you know now, they supposedly came out with technology after 9/11 that you could actually use your phone on a plane. Like they say, oh yeah, now we can do that. Oh yeah.
Well, in England, after 9/11, they introduced the rule where you weren't allowed to take more than a 500. Oh no! In fact, no, you're not allowed to take any fucking liquids on unless it's sealed. So you can't even take like, a bottle of water on the plane with you unless it's sealed and you get the airplane, just in case the bomb inside the water.
Right. And another thing that's interesting is, do you know who George Bush Sr. was having breakfast with on 9/11 in New York?
Who?
Members of Bin Laden's family.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, I've heard about this before because Bin Laden's family were actually exempt, weren't they, from like the?
Oh yeah, when they grounded the planes after 9/11 and nobody in America could fly, there was no planes that were able to fly. After they grounded the planes, they flew, I believe it was 26 members of the bin Laden family out of the United States.
Yeah, yes.
What does that tell you?
They're like, oh, we don't want people to retaliate against them in America. I'm like,
Right. So you have to fly them. Like, I mean, you seriously?
yeah, no, it's nuts, isn't it?
You can't figure out like somewhere to put them, like a box. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like it just it does not add up. 2 plus 2 does not equal 4.
Well, you know, one of the like I never like believing in crisis actor stuff too much because I find it really hard to defend.
Oh yeah.
When because people can pull out this card, which is one I would just stay the hell away from, which is they pull out like the victim's card. You know, would you say that to the mother's side? It's like, no, you can leave me the fuck out of this. I'm not go insulting anyone's families now. You know what I mean? It's a horrible one to go down, isn't it? So I really, it's a topic that makes me cringe because I just know where it's going to lead, you know, to horrible thoughts I'm going to have to deal with. It's like, oh shit, you know, who died, who really died, who didn't, who's an actor, who wasn't.
Right.
It's all too much. You don't want to get into that, do you? Because then you sound crazy, you know, talking about who's what, who's that. So I always try to avoid it. But there was one video that really showed me crisis acting, and it was on a website called like Rich Planet or something. And the people in it, they'd shown this bomb. I think it was in Afghanistan somewhere. I couldn't tell you where, but they'd shown a car bomb that apparently killed loads of people, and you know, Taliban had done it. And there was a CCTV camera nearby that recorded the event. And genuinely, what happened? I cannot believe that this actually. I've seen this. They genuinely, car blew up, no one near it, and then a load of people ran up and lay on the floor. And I was like, "What the fuck am I looking at?" Like, genuinely, people running in from the side and laying on the floor around the car. And
you know what got me was the Boston bombing when I saw the people putting on the melange. After the explosion, you see them putting on the prosthetic blown up parts.
Bro.
And that was like, okay, all right. Okay, so this crisis actor thing is real.
Yeah, and that's where it's just like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, you just don't know what to believe after that, do you?
Yeah, it really it's incredible. The crisis act, honestly, the crisis actor thing is absolutely real. They use it all the time, and I can actually during one of these events, I can actually spot these crisis actors now. Just watching the news, you can clearly see them if you know what to look for, because they just go by a script.
I mean,
it's
wonder though, because this is what always got me about it. Is like surely somebody would come out and be like, yeah, I was one of those actors, I was in that scene. And it makes you fucking wonder, like, either A, have these people got like information on these people?
Non-disclosure, man. They have to sign a non-disclosure.
Yeah, come on. Do you really think a non-disclosure agreement compared to like, oh yeah, the world, why didn't you tell us the world was a lie? I signed a
Well, you know, a lot of people won't. Okay, example, Sandy Hook. Okay, the people that were involved in that, they want gun control, and so they participate in this event because they want to help get the guns. They're willing to keep their mouth shut because they want those guns. They don't want people to have guns in America, and so they're willing to go through and put their self on the line, their reputation on the line, because they want to get rid of guns
so that you can't have an uprising.
Well, that's what they believe. Now there might also be people that are compromised. It's like example, Alex Jones came out, saying what he knew about Sandy Hook. He knows it's bullshit. And then they fried him in the news. Okay. And then he recanted, right? But he knows it's bullshit. He knows it's they got him somehow. So he had to recant.
One is that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was all into that. She was, knocking on before she got into Congress. She was knocking on people's doors saying that it was, it was fake. And now she's in Congress, like, no, it's real. I know it's real.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, so it's real now. You're in Congress, is it?
Right. Well, that being compromised, it's, what can you do? I don't know what they got on Alex, but they got something on him, and they got him to recant it. And I get it. I get, you're I mean, what are you going to do? They probably made something up. They probably said, look, if you don't, come out against it, we're going to, put it out that you were doing this or saying that or whatever. And what would you do? I mean, these people are powerful.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty
I don't
much.
know. I don't put it against. I don't follow. I used to follow Alex, but not anymore. Hadn't in a long time. But I don't also throw Alex out and say, "Oh, he's just a bad guy." Now that he's not what he used to be, but because he really did do a lot of good for our community. It's just he had to go a different direction, or he was gonna. They who knows what they would have done to him. They're very powerful people that are in control of this thing.
Yeah, it's fucked.
So, but look, luckily people like me, I mean, they don't even care about me. I mean, look at how many subs I have. I can get away with these things because I'm not, that not enough people hear me to worry about me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm going for monetization, so I can't say too much crazy shit.
Well, yeah, and as you shouldn't, you should tiptoe around it. Now you can't go around just talking about anything you want, because they will, block you just because you talk about certain things. But like, I don't talk about, I don't do shows on 900 Uno, I don't do,
Yeah.
like, we're sitting here talking about, but that's not the show, and you won't ever see me do a show on it. You won't ever see me do a show on JFK. You won't, even though I will talk about it from time to time. Because they will, I mean, if you continue to do that stuff, they will find a way to silence you.
Oh yeah, but that's another example of of what I said before with that David Irving thing. If you're saying the right conspiracy, you won't get silenced. So if you did a JFK video where you just went, look at the grassy knoll, and did the standard conspiracy behind it, they'd be fine with that.
Right.
If you actually started bringing intelligent discussion and pointing to things and saying, like things between, like, Marilyn Monroe, was it? It was apparently going to come out and say some things that would have really damaged JFK, and next thing, she dies.
Right.
Because that apparently people think that that's linked to, like, even the UFO stuff, maybe, because, like, apparently he was, like, asking questions to do with that, and then next thing he gets killed and all this. But again, like, even talking about that could be the exact kind of conspiracy they want you to talk about.
With JFK, I mean, I definitely feel that it through my studies of JFK, I've determined, in my personal opinion, that what got him killed was the printing the money outside of the Federal Reserve. There's only two people in the history of the United States, that the presidents in the history of the United States, that have printed money outside of the Federal Reserve System, and that is JFK and Abraham Lincoln.
Wow. Okay.
And so, I, not to mention, he had, documents on his desk when he died that were, or orders that he had to sign, that he was ready to sign, that would disband the CIA and end the Vietnam War, take us out of the Vietnam.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's like, okay, who did he not piss off? It's not a question of who killed JFK. It's a question of who didn't. And he had pissed off everybody. Like, and I'm not saying he was a great guy. He comes from a shady ass past too, but I think he was trying to do good. I think he comes from a shady past, but he was trying to do good. Because even bad people can turn their life around. They can decide to do right.
Yeah.
So, even though his family and himself have a shady past, I think he was trying to turn that around. And but yeah, it's like he really when he printed that, when he wanted to print that money, that really was a big no. That the bankers, they the bankers did it. They're the ones that do it all.
Right. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to head to bed.
Okay.
It's just gone past 12.
Let me
Very much for having me, and let me see what this looks like zoomed out before you go.
Okay, let me I'm gonna finish it out though. Let me present it again. Let's see.
Yeah, I just want to get a nice shot of it. See how far you got. I made 2
It's
hours.
getting there. It's almost
Yeah, I didn't even charge you this time. 2.5 hours.
I know. I'll have to bill you. So I'm about 2/3 of the way done, I'd say. Be my guess.
Oh, let me see it zoomed out. Come on.
Can you see it yet?
No, not yet. It's not sharing.
Oh, wait, I didn't hit the button. I thought I hit it. There it goes. Sorry.
Oh shit, yeah, look at that. You're really doing a good job with that, aren't you? Almost there.
Yeah, it's about 2/3 of the way done, I'd say.
And it only took 2.5 hours to do something you could have done with one click in Photoshop.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been nearly as fun.
Maybe you should do that when you get your pad in Photoshop. Do the exact same episode, but it'll be like 10 seconds long. You're like, here it is, done.
I might do it again. I mean, if people like this, if they enjoyed it, maybe I'll do it again. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this is, and I'm kind of, that's something I'm kind of known for, is doing things that are absolutely painful. Like I did a Google drop of Los Angeles, the entire downtown core, and it was like 6 hours of me Googling around Los Angeles.
Wow.
So, I have stamina when it comes to sticking with something like that. I don't know. It is what it is. Sometimes I just like to go like that and burn time.
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Okie dokie. I sure appreciate everybody. Go subscribe to Luke at his channel, Ancient Historia. Link is in the description, and he is in need of some new gear. So tell him what you need, right? Like what would help you the most, and
everything, just and anything, computer, microphone, anything. I don't know.
Maybe a camera, webcam.
Yeah, that would help as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could really use some help getting his technology up to where he needs to be. So if you have a little bit of extra coin in your pocket, you want to help out Luke, I'm sure he would really appreciate it. But we'll have Luke back soon, and thanks, Luke, for hanging out with us a little bit.
All right, thank you very much. See you guys later.
We'll see you. All right, guys. I'm gonna continue going on my picture here. I tell you what, let me I'm gonna take a quick break, and I will be right back. I want to go put some wood on the fire. So let's see. Let me get my break video up here, and we'll go. This will do it. Oh, sorry, I was muted. Sorry, we're back. And let me see. Let me get back on here. And so they would this is a glass plate negative. And what I'm doing is I'm going through and taking the background out to create a vanilla sky, just like they would. What they would do is they would take either a knife or a wood stick or something like that, and they would scrape the dried um, chemical off the glass plate negative, and they would create the effect of what we call vanilla sky. And now it's a little painful here doing this with a mouse in Microsoft Paint, but because I don't have a, a, a tablet pen to do it with, so it's quite a bit difficult. But it still shows how difficult of a process it would be to do this right. It was not very easy. But these glass plate negatives or wet plate negatives, and what they were was a glass. I shared a video showing the process of how they created the glass plate negatives at the beginning of this video. You can go back and watch. But it was a chemical process. They would add a chemical to a piece of glass, and this glass was then exposed to. You would put it in the camera, and the glass was then exposed to light, and then it would shine your image onto this piece of glass with this chemical on it. And in the process of that, it would give you your image. And the resolution on these things is incredible. And there's more to it. And I was hearing somebody, I was watching something the other day talking about magnetic tape recording, how they used to do. If you don't know, today they record digitally, where it just records into a computer. But back in the day, when they were recording, they would record on tape, and it was a magnetic tape. And there was an energetic imprint that was inputted into the recording. And so these recordings, like example, say Janis Joplin, when she would record her music in a studio back when she was alive, that when she would record, they would record with this magnetic tape, and it not only recorded her voice, but it would record an energetic presence in the room. So it would record the energy of the room. It would record the energy of the people. And so that's why those recordings are so good, because their energy was imprinted into the music. And you don't get that today. That's why today's music sucks so bad. Because there is no energy in the music. They don't capture that energy. But they also they have a lot of things that the studios there's stories of this energy bleeding back through into the systems. It's a little bit esoteric, but there's stories of like where Tupac had recorded in the studio where he recorded that his voice would come over the through the headsets of the studio engineers after he died, and it would freak the engineers out. And they had several people quit because they were so scared of it. Just really freaked them out. But this energetic imprint is kind of, I think, the same thing that's going on with these glass plate negatives. It's kind of like there's more to this image than, say, a digital photograph of today. It's like there's an energetic imprint on these glass plate negatives that was not that we don't get from, say, a digital photograph of today. Now that's just me theorizing there. I don't know that that's what's going on, but it's something I'm thinking about, that maybe there's one of the reasons these images are so good is because it's capturing an energetic presence of whatever they're taking a picture of. Because if you look at these pictures, there's something more to them than especially when you look at like a portrait picture, a glass plate portrait picture. There's an energy to that glass plate portrait picture that is so much more than what we get today in modern photography, even 35 millimeter photography. There's more to it. It has something to do with the collodion that was put on the glass plate. That's just a theory. That's just me theorizing and thinking about what's going on here. Because one thing I notice is that these images are so much better than a digital image. They're a whole nother level. The detail is phenomenal on these things. And people question, what kind of cameras were they using? What were they really using? The cameras that were told they were using. I'm not sure. I think maybe they were, but I don't know for sure. I don't see any proof that they weren't using the box cameras. But that doesn't mean that there weren't better technologies. I'm really not sure. So it's an unanswerable question at this point. I've also theorized that maybe a lot of these images are found of these old buildings that we have, especially the construction photos. I've really wondered if the construction photos are actually old photos that we found when we found the buildings. But I'm not sure. It's just an idea. It's just we have to think outside the box to find these answers. You're not going to find the answers in the mainstream narrative, the mainstream understanding. They're not there, so no reason to look for them there. There's something going on in this world that we don't know. Anyways, let's see. How you doing, hippie? How's the other side of the pond today? Let's see. How's your kiddos? Hope they're doing good today. Who here is actually going to watch the Super Bowl? That's what I want to know. I'd be really surprised if any of you still are into the sports and stuff. I think a lot of you have already figured out that all it is bread and circuses to keep you occupied, and keep you in division. My team versus your team. But you never know. A lot of things are hard to give up when you wake up. It's hard to give up these things that we love so much. I gave up a lot. I gave up, drinking, for example, and smoking, for example. And those things were a big part of my life. I mean, I smoked 2 packs a day. When I woke up, I smoked 2 packs a day. And I told the people around me, I said, I'm going to quit smoking. And they're like, when? I said, today. And they laughed at me, ha, 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 And then I never smoked again. But now people tell the story of how I quit smoking overnight. And they're like, yeah, he did it. He actually did it. We saw him do it, And so that's really cool. but it's all in the mind. It's not. It's got nothing to do with you know, your needs. If you want to quit smoking, just quit smoking. Just put it in your mind you're going to quit and quit. It's that simple. There's no more to it. You don't need patches. You don't need Nicorette. You don't need none of that. You don't need, supplements, nothing. I didn't do anything differently. So just decide you're going to quit and be bound and determined that you're going to quit, and you'll quit. It's coming to the conclusion that you're going to quit. It's not, I want to quit. I wish I could quit, or I'm going to try to quit. No, just quit. That's all it is. It's just quit. Don't think about quitting. Don't try to quit. Just quit. It's like, what does Yoda say? There is no try, only do. And that's what it is. There is no try. When you try to do something, well, you're going to continue to try to do something because you're trying. You're not doing. Yeah, that's about the best advice I got on that. Same with drinking. I drank like a fish before I woke up, and I wanted to. I read very early in my awakening about how alcohol and drugs affects your ability to be conscious, and I really wanted to, get things, right. And so I decided I was going to quit drinking. So I quit drinking, and that was really good because I would never be able to have read as many books as I did while I was drinking. There's no way. I wouldn't have had the attention span of a gnat. So I'm really thankful that I could put that down. I was never an alcoholic, but I'm a big boy and I drank like fish. I think alcoholism. I think I was talking to somebody yesterday about addiction, and we were talking about how certain people have like this addiction gene, and that they can. Certain people can be addicted where others are not, and they can. Like I could drink a lot more than normal people that were alcoholics. And it was like, why did I never turn to an alcoholic and they did, and it's because I think, in my opinion, that there's just there's an alcoholic or an addiction gene. Same with very obese people. I think there's an obese gene where some people, when they eat it, they just cannot. It's like their body just turns it into, mass. I don't think it's like the really the amount that they of eating that they do that really messes them up. I think it's the that they have this something going on in their body that makes what they do eat become more of a problem for them than it does other people. But then they, of course, they look at themselves in the mirror and they see how big they're getting, and it depresses them, and they, then eat more, and then they think, I don't know. It's a never ending cycle at that point. I remember there was a guy that I knew, he's gone now, but I remember he would say, he was a big boy. He probably weighed probably in the 400 to 500 range. Big dude. And I remember he would say, "Would you? I'm going to have a hamburger. Do you want one?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm not hungry." And he would throw down hamburgers in a pan, and then pour oil into the pan. Like he'd like put a bunch of oil in a pan for cooking hamburgers, and it's like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, I mean, really? And all of you know, I mean, I'm sure you know that that's just not, that's not right. You don't, there's no need to do that. I mean, that's just crazy. Anyways. So yeah, this is a painful process. This, I wanted to do this, just to show you the physicality of how it would be done. Because sometimes, telling you how things are done isn't as good as showing you. And so I'm showing you, and it keeps you away from watching football. So you're welcome. Let me go back up here. Where was I? I know I was going too far. It helps, it seems, if I do that little bit of blocking there. I don't know if this would have been a whole lot easier to do with like a knife, because you have to understand they had to be, you had to be very careful. See, here I have a reverse button. See, watch this. Boom, I fucked up, right? But then I can correct it real easy. But see, back in the day, they didn't have that correction. If they did that, that was it. And I've actually found photographs or these glass plate negatives where it looks like they did screw up. And then they abandoned the photograph. So it was a very, somebody came in and bumped you, and, it's very possible you'd screw the whole thing up. And there will, you didn't have a second, you couldn't make a second negative, out of it. It's once it's gone, it's gone. You have to make a whole nother picture. And the thing is that picture would be different than the picture you have. So, it's not like today where we could, print off, we have a negative and we can make a copy of that negative real simply. Now, I think they could, my understanding of photography is that they could have made a copy, possibly. I believe I might be speaking out the wrong end of my ass cheeks, but I think that they could make another negative from the negative in a dark room. Because I know that you can do that with the technology today in a dark room using regular negatives. And I don't really see why you couldn't do that back then, but I don't know for sure. So that's more of a question for a photographer, somebody that has, a lot of darkroom experience. I do have darkroom experience. I took photography classes in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th, 10th, and 11th in some way, shape, or form. I just not actual, like in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, I took drafting class. Not draft. Well, I took a drafting class, not drafting. Graphic arts class, and in graphic arts class, we had darkroom. So we would take pictures and then learned in the darkroom, and then we would take those images and use them to create graphic arts. Like then we would learn how to do do screen printing and things like that. We would also learn how to use presses, presses like ink presses. And so I had a lot of experience with photography when I was in school. So that's helpful. That doesn't make me a photographer. I just have experience with it, so I know a few tricks of trick. It's like when I saw, how they did when they were talking about the Oswald photograph, where he was holding the gun. I mean, it was clear as day that it was, photo manipulated in a dark room. It was, you could tell how they did it. Very simple to see. But so photo manipulation has been around a long time. It's there's lots of ways to manipulate a photo. And glass plate negatives are definitely, possible to manipulate. And if you just joined us, Ancient Historia was hanging out with us. He had to go to bed. It's past his bedtime. We got to put Junior to sleep every now and then. He's on a different time zone. So, anyways, we appreciate him hanging out with us as long as he could. And I'm trying to give him a little boost, even though he's got a lot of subs. He's got more subs than I do, but he's the younger generation, and I'm trying to help out somebody that's young and coming into the community, and is trying to better themselves, and as long as he's trying to better himself, I'm interested in helping that, because people helped me, and so it's okay that he's not got everything. He's not got it all together yet. He's a hot mess, and that's great. He's just now learning what he wants to do, and what he wants to share, and he's got a long ways to go to become who he's going to become in this community. But I think it's cool to help people that are new, and so anyways, I'm doing what I can to help the kid, and so go show him some love, and subscribe to him, and go check out what he's up to, and I'd appreciate that, because I don't have all the answers, and neither is he, but combining us and other people, maybe you'll find some answers that you're looking for, and we can eventually meet on the other side, and you can't stick with one person. Not one of us has all the answers. Not one of us has, I have some answers, but you're going to have to go different places to get, really what's available. There's too much. And so anyways, it's good to share the research, Let's see. Okie dokie. It's a painful process, y'all, but it's fun. I like doing stuff like this, tedious kind of things like this. I've always been like good at doing stuff like this. I don't know why, but I'm not sure it's a good trait or not. But I can. It won't be perfect. I'm not trying to do it perfect. You will see me make mistakes here and there, and that's okay. I can live with that. Because I've studied these glass plate negatives enough to know that they weren't perfect. They did make mistakes. They didn't try to make it absolutely 100% correct. They screwed up. Another thing that's interesting is that I'm dealing with pixels here, and when they did it, they were dealing with that they could make a curved line, and it was more organic. So the way that they would have done it would have been truer to more organic, I guess is the way to say it. And some of you are probably like, what the hell is Nutball talking about now? And that's okay too. Let's see. Do. Yes, sleep is good, Lisaville. I like me some sleep. Oh, it's hard sometimes to come down and it jumps over on me. I'm trying to leave like there's like a dark gray border there. I'm trying to leave that. It's a little tough to do, but that's what I'm attempting to do, as you may have figured out here. Alrighty. Yeah, I see Sherry's talking about Berna and Hippie's talking about Dutch sense. Yeah, Bernie has a show coming up, I believe on Valentine's Day with Dutch sense. So go check that out. Make sure you check that out. We're trying to get Bernie boosted up too. Bernie's having trouble getting his subs to go up. Mine are just I'm so, they've got me so locked down that I don't know what the hell they're doing to me, but I just grow whenever I grow. I really don't even try to grow anymore because it's just like so pointless. They've got me so shadow banned, it's just not even funny, but there's nothing I can do about it. So you'll see me, maybe go up a little bit here and there, but I'll probably never, this channel will probably never grow huge. But it's funny because the bigger channels know who I am. They know damn well who I am. So, and the people that are really in the community know who I am. So, and I appreciate you checking me out and seeing what I got going, and I try to bring new things to the table and see where we can go with what we're doing here. And we're also trying to bring the creators together behind the scenes, and create a camaraderie there. And it's getting a lot better because we saw so much division happening with lack of communication between the creators. And so we've been working towards making that a lot easier for people to communicate with each other, and so that's been very helpful. But we have a nice group of researchers behind the scenes that are working together, and you'd be really proud of how these people are interacting with each other. That we pick on each other hard. We but and when one of us needs help, there's always somebody there that's willing to help. And it's just really good to see these people working together and trying to not be, the prima donnas that a lot of times people can get like that. They think they're the creme de la creme of the research gods, and it's not really the case. We're all in this together, and we're trying to create a group of people that are, have similar goals, and seeing how we can help each other. So that's really cool. But that's just, that's for us, and it's not, what happens in our group stays in our group. We don't talk about what happens just because it's private. It's between us, and it's a safe place for us to communicate, and so that's nice. You can talk to people, and it won't get blasted all over the place, and sometimes you just need to talk about things without doing it publicly, and it's really good, because sometimes you're like, I want to ask this person this question, but I don't want to do it publicly. I don't want to I just want to ask a damn question. And that's where this is wonderful, because we can do that, and without having to be on like a live chat and ask a question that's just like, makes you very uncomfortable to answer a question sometimes. It's like, wow, you just threw my theory under the bus. That could be like, feel like a personal attack, but it's not. They're just trying to ask a question. So it's good. And I know I'm rambling. That's okay. I'm trying to get this picture done. I'm going as fast as I can, y'all. Bear with me. Hey, it's better than football. Y'all could be watching the football game. I don't know. When's this football game start? I don't know. It's today, right? I think it's today. I'm pretty sure. May or may not be. No, I'm pretty sure it's today. Alrighty. Hey, Steps, how you doing? Where are you guys all from? What area of the world? Who am I talking to here? I'm in a little place called Dunn, North Carolina. It's a little hodunk, small town and in the country, and ain't a whole lot out here. I'm actually in the country. There's a town of Dunn, but that's 7 miles away. It's a good distance away. I'm in the country, and there's just nothing out here. There's no stores out here. There's nothing out here but homes and farms. California, Wales, UK, Valdosta, Georgia, west coast of Sweden, Manchester, UK. Lisa's from the south too. Awesome. That's great. People all over the world. Excuse me. Been working outside this week. I got a touch of sniffle. This weather here it's been up and down, hot, cold, and I don't know. It's not. We've been talking about around here. Like, it doesn't feel natural. It feels manipulated. I don't know if you guys are experiencing the same thing where you're at, but it just doesn't feel like a natural. It doesn't feel like nature's in control of nature anymore. And then again, who knows? The sun feels too hot. The winters aren't winter. The summers are extreme, like just absolutely miserable. I used to enjoy summer. I absolutely can't. I despise summer. I can't stand it. It's so hot here. It didn't used to be the heat that it is now. It's this humid, hot, humid, just dreary. It's miserable. You can't get cool. It just, there's no cooling. Man hasn't invented cooling to cool you from just this manipulated heat. It's awful. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just, getting older and grumpier. I don't know. This could go either way. But it's how I feel about it. So it could be that I know that they have the ability to control the weather. It could be just my knowledge making me feel hotter. I don't know. You can't discount that. Well, you could, but I mean, don't think it'd be a good idea. But no, I think they are controlling the weather. Whoops. Buttons aren't toys. These things are hard to do. If you'll notice, I'm not doing these very perfectly. You'll see as the picture goes to a normal state that won't matter. They just got it close. They would, I'll admit, they would get a little closer than I'm getting. No doubt. But they were scraping it, and they could do it organically. They could make curves, whereas I'm having to take it out, with pixels is a big, there's a big difference there. So, we're doing the best we can here. And this is just for fun. We're not trying to create, a Picasso here or anything. When I get this done, when I get this done, I'm gonna post this on my Instagram page, which I'm trying to add more to. I didn't for a long time do things on Instagram because Instagram, I don't know if you knew, probably did, but Instagram used to you had to add images from your phone, and if you wanted to do it from your computer, it was a major pain in the ass. But within the last, I think, year, Instagram has changed to where you can do it from your computer. So now I can, as I'm researching, I find something neat that I think would be interesting to people on Instagram, I'll throw it on Instagram. Even the most random ass shit. There's no rhyme or reason to my Instagram. It's just whatever I'm finding at the moment that is interesting. And so I'm starting to put more and more on there, and it's not my platform. I mean, other people swear by Instagram, but it's not my thing. But people seem to enjoy it. I've got a few followers. I guess I don't even know how many followers I have, but for those few people, they seem to enjoy it, so that's good enough for me. It's like I don't have a super huge subscriber count, and that's okay. That's all right with me. I got you guys hanging out with me. How many we got here? Let's see. How many? Let me see. I can't.
Campbell didn't show up yet.
Hey, Bernie.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
How many people are watching right now? I was just trying to figure out how many people are watching.
It says 22.
Okay, so I got 22 people, and you know what? That's good for me. That's great. I love it. Thank you. I don't need 1 billion people watching to be happy. And
Right.
I just want you to know that I appreciate y'all.
Exactly. Every single one of you. I actually, you got Rumble and Odyssey, right? I know you got Odyssey.
I got Odyssey.
No Rumble?
No.
You gotta get the Rumble BEAGS. It works even better than Odyssey for transferring over all your live streams and syncing with the YouTube channels.
Uh-huh.
And on my first Odyssey live stream today with only 50 subscribers, by the end of it, I had 20 people watching live, and I gained 15 subscribers, and it's already up to 100 views 2 hours after ending it.
Oh, yeah? That's
cool. So it seems like it's got pretty organic growth in it.
That's neat. I've been on Rumble a few times researching there's a few researchers that only do on Rumble, and so I think it's Rumble. And so I've watched a few things, but not very few times.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty decent. Oh, we're up to 24 now.
I mean, I don't have huge live streams, and that's okay. it's not about that for me. So
we're going to be building it and changing that very quickly. As with Campbell, we're just setting up and should have you on his admin or on our shared account.
Campbell has you expect big numbers with Campbell. You expect him like was he get like I don't know 500 during a live stream or something? I mean,
well, it's 500 on our multi streams, but then that's like between my channels, his channel, and half the time we're also live on Zertus's at that point.
Yeah.
And then it's like 500 between them. He averages about 300, I'd say 250 to 300 per live.
Right. And that's to be expected. And that's great. You know, I think that's wonderful. I mean, I wish it was better. I wish it was bigger. Who do you think has the biggest live streams? Would I don't know.
I'd say Martin Leedkey because he averages about 750, 800, I'd say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And you're doing a live stream with Dutch Sense. I was telling people about that earlier.
Yes, sir.
And that's on Valentine's Day.
It is indeed.
Now tell me, excuse my ignorance. I have heard of Dutch Sense, but I don't watch Dutch Sense. I don't know exactly what Dutch Sense does. Can you give me the Dutch Sense rundown?
So the Dutch rundown is he specializes in earthquake forecasting and has deciphered a cycle and system of seismic energy and how it transfers throughout the realm. And it has even actually brought up the possibility that the spherical Earth model doesn't quite work properly with it all. So he's starting to question the shape of the realm just from his earthquake energy.
Okay. So he's a glober.
So he's a what?
He's a glober?
No, he's doesn't know what the heck it is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been to his channel and I saw he's got some kind of graphic that shows like lines or something coming out from the earth, and I didn't know what
each one of those is an earthquake. The USGS U.S. Geological Surveys live updates of where earthquakes happen throughout the world.
Okay.
So then the higher the line going up and the bigger the circle of each of those is the bigger the magnitude of the earthquake in his charts.
Did he predict the one that hit Turkey?
He predicted the magnitude of it, but it came up on the exact opposite side of the spherical model that he came up with. And he says that it has to do with the shape being wrong for it somehow being why it does that every so often.
What else does he what else does he research? What's his
he's since the earthquakes and then he's found a lot of evidence of mega macro terraforming and then also mega macro star forts. So then he's gotten into researching the smaller star fort systems and connecting them with the macro sized ones that he's started to find.
Okay. Define mega macro.
He says, "What up, Campbell? Campbell, say hi to the BEAGS live chat."
Hi, Campbell.
So sorry, I have to go here now, but I might be back if you're still on in another 20 or so.
Okay.
Much love, good sir.
Hey, Campbell.
BEAGS says hi.
BEAGS, hey, how you going?
What's going on?
We're StreamYarding through StreamYards.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Lucas.
Yeah. Ancient Luke had to head out. He had to go to bed. It's past his bedtime.
Yeah, It's past Junior's bedtime. Papa Dog sent him off to bed.
I'm actually vanilla skying a old world photo here.
He's vanilla skying an old world photo. Oh, you're trying it out yourself. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
He's doing modern day making
Yeah,
a
watching
vanilla
the boy.
sky.
Yeah.
I've been working
Cool.
on it for a couple hours now.
Yeah, man.
Well, if you're still going in another half hour, I will rejoin, and if not, we'll see you in a little bit, brother. Much love, Stuffed Beags community.
All
Talk
right.
to you guys in a bit.
We'll see you, Burns.
All right.
So what's going on in Australia today, Campbell? Let's see. I don't know if he's still there. I can't see. I better look. Nope. He's gone. He headed out. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Sorry, folks. I can't see. I can only see the picture. So it's hard to see who I'm talking to. But Campbell popped in and popped out. So, anyways, what are y'all up to? We're getting very close to getting this done, though. I think we're making good progress here. I think it sounded like Campbell's audio was. He said he was looping StreamYard through StreamYard. I don't know what he was doing. Campbell's audio didn't sound real good there. I hadn't seen him do that before. I don't know. We learn new things all the time. None of us knew how to do this stuff, y'all, when we started. So, we might do things that's like it ain't perfect, and that's because we're learning. But we try to get better all the time. And we try to find new ways. Like Bernie's trying out the Rumble thing. I remember him talking about that earlier today. He was really excited that he got it working. I didn't know what he was talking about. I wasn't sure what he was talking about. He was talking about. I guess he started a new channel on Rumble, which is cool. I think it's neat that he's expanding out. I don't have a lot of time to like add things to what I'm doing. It's hard enough to do what I'm doing. I work a lot now, so which is good as I need to work, but it doesn't leave a lot of time to do the YouTube stuff. It will in the future. It's just right now. It's just I'm busy, which is cool because for a long time I couldn't work. A couple of years I couldn't work. I was sick, and so it's good for me to work. That's why I'm spending so much time working now, trying to make up for lost time. So bear with me, and I'll be back to normal at some point. I don't know when, because I don't know. I don't know how long this is gonna take. My work is gonna take. What I'm doing. It's difficult to say because the customer keeps adding things, adding jobs. So I don't know. I don't know where the end lies at this point. So we will see. As the Zen Master says, we will see. This is what I love to do, but a beag's got to eat too. So I got to do what I got to do to take care of my personals. I got to put food on the table. I got to take care of the personal things. Got to buy clothes, and you got to have electricity to run the have the power to run the stream. These things have to be paid for. So anyways, I'm just saying, bear with me, and I'll do what I can when I can. It's like I was off today, and so I decided to do this. give you an excuse not to watch the Super Bowl. So that's that. Let's see. Everything is redundant. Everything is cyclical. You'll notice in your life as you get older that you'll have experiences happen in different ways over and over again. And the thing is that then you'll not have them also, like you'll have experiences that you have over and over again, and then all of a sudden you won't have those experiences again. And what it is through time, sometimes we learn our lessons, and once we learn our lessons, then we don't need to have those experiences again. So if you're my point here is if you're having an experience in your life and you're not enjoying that experience, okay, figure out what lesson you're supposed to be learning from it, and you won't have that lesson to learn anymore. You've learned your lesson, and you can go on and learn another lesson. That's what this place is. It's a way of us learning things that we can't learn in the higher dimensions. And so we come here to experience a denser level of reality. We can't learn what it's like to get, example, punched in the face, in a fifth dimensional reality. It's just not going to hit like it does in third dimensional reality. We're not going to be able to feel, like when we have we're in a relationship and that person breaks up with us, and that pain you feel in your stomach, where it feels like your stomach has dropped out and your heart has fallen out of your body. You can't feel that in fifth dimensional reality. And so we come here to experience those things. It's just part of the lesson. We have to experience harder lessons here than we do in the higher dimensions, because sometimes we have to feel a deeper sensation than is available in the higher dimensions. Okay. I think we're making progress here. Ooh. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I'm enjoying it. It's a pain in the ass, but I've always liked doing stuff like this. Tedious things that are just really like, my God, why did I take this on? I don't know why I enjoy these things, but I do. I always have. It's just a different way of doing things. Okay, let's see. It's hard getting the pixels lined up. Here we go. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. That's old school right there. You're telling your age, Lisa. That is definitely old school. That is old school, I'll tell you. We had some good music back in the day. Yep, nope. Okie dokie. these are trees here, so I'm not too concerned about them being too good. And that's another thing, is that in these glass plate negatives, when they scratched them off, that the trees, I noticed that they really didn't spend a lot of time on the trees. And I think it's just because they were so hard. So that the work, that's like one of the first places I look when I'm looking for proof of vanilla sky, is the trees, because they did such a bad job of the trees that it really stood out, especially when you have spaces behind the trees, gaps, because they really wouldn't do those, because when you back up, you really can't see them. So it's a real good place to check for vanilla sky. I've been finding a lot of vanilla sky images lately. I'm saving them up in a folder, and at some point I'll share them. I'm still finding them, so when I kind of run out of finding that in this series I'm looking in, then I'll share them. And there's hundreds of them, so you know. I mean, somebody spent a lot of time manipulating these things. It's incredible. Oh, that's wrong. Okay. We are getting there, I tell you. Really making progress now, y'all. Y'all are having a good time having somewhere to hang out today. It's nice when you get on the YouTube and you're looking for some, a group of your peers to hang out with, and then all of a sudden you find somebody that's live, and it's like you get to go hang out with your friends, and that's nice. It's because you meet these people from all over the world, so you can join them all different given times of the day. We'll do these real simply. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the trees here. We are getting close, y'all. I can feel it. I can see the finish line. Sort of. I'm trying not to leave too many straight lines in my photo here. I'm not sure what. Oh, that's the. Oh, wait a minute. I know what that is. Okay. I got to readjust here. Oh, I didn't like that. Sometimes I do that and it works real good, and other times it doesn't. I'm really trying, y'all. I'm trying to do this as good as I can. Okay, and then oh. Okay, let's see. Well, that gives my hand hell. Poor hand's about wore out doing this. Y'all can't believe I did this, can you? No, I didn't like that. That's not good. Sometimes it's better to do the line. Yeah, see, that's better. Nope. Okay. Nope. Shoot. I really need to get me a tablet pen thingy. That's good enough. Y'all ain't gonna tell I messed that one up, can you? Are you? No, you ain't gonna tell. I didn't like that. Oh, that's okay. That'll work. Let's see. No, I don't like that. No. I think there's a knobby bit there. Something there, I think. Okay, let me go down a little bit. Okay. Oh. Nope, that was no good. Okie dokie. Alrighty. That'll work. Now we're getting very close, y'all. Getting very close. Give my hand a break here. Wow. I feel like I've been punching a wall for an hour. Okay. Nope. Okie dokie. And get that little bit there. A little bit there. That bit, and that little knobby bit. Okay, now let's see where we are. See if there's anything that's. I think that flagpole I need to, because they had a little bit. I cut the flag out because the flag was half cut off. I don't know if y'all remember that. But what I'm gonna do? You can't get up here right now. I'm working. You'll get in my way. I ain't got time for no getting in the way, Chihuahua. Oh, okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, let me let's see. I cut it off because it was okay. I lost where I am. Okay, there we go. All right. I need to. Oh, no. Let's see. I go maybe. Like that. That's probably. Nope. Oh. Now let's try that. That's better. Okay. Now we got to get that, and then we got to okay, we're going to cut. They would crop the image. Okay, so we're going to crop it there. I got to rotate it. And we'll crop it this side. We'll crop it on the top. Nope, not enough. Nope, still not enough. And that is, I think, pretty good. Okay, wait a minute. Got something here I don't like bothering me. Oh, okay. It's got that little knobby bit in the middle. Okay, we'll leave that. That's fine. Okay, and we'll save that. Now, what we're going to do, stop screen share. And I'm going to load that into the inverter. And let me see. Okay, I'm going to share the screen and show you what I'm doing here. Okay. This is our image loaded into the inverter. And I will create an inversion of that. And we will download that. And then let me stop screen share, and then I will. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to open that. Let me share screen again. Okay, and this is our image that has been inverted, and then I'm going to take the paint feature and fill in the I don't know why I didn't get that bit up there. That's kind of weird. We gotta, okay, we got that. And then let's see. I don't know why it did that right there, but it is what it is, and it should be ready to go. So let me stop screen, and I will present you our vanilla skied image. And we have finished our vanilla skied image. And that is exactly what you would have seen if, let me make sure that's full screen for you. That is exactly what you would see if you vanilla skied, if you were presented a vanilla skied image today. That is exactly how it was done. And you will notice even when I zoom in, it looks very much the same that you would see. Now, it is going to be a little bit jaggy because of the way I had to do it with the pixelization. So please forgive my pixelization. but you will see that this is very, very comparable to what you would have seen. Like I could have taken out more right here. Matter of fact, that should actually, I should have hit that with the white, the paint feature, because it didn't get it. And I should come in here and hit these with white right there. Those little black pieces there that didn't get hit with the paint can. See, they wouldn't have had to do the paint can like I did. But you can see that this is Vanilla Sky. See, I need to hit it here. And I'll go back and fix this. I think we've done enough for today. But I'll go back and fix this, and I'll post this to my Instagram. And you guys can, and I'll also post a link to the picture in the video description. And you guys can check that out on your own. And I sure appreciate all of you hanging out and checking out what we've done here. I don't know what I'm doing here. But that was a lot of fun. And that is how you Vanilla Sky today or yesterday. And I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. And I'll see you next time. Love, Biggs.
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
It's a mystery! It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma! Don't you get it?
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.